I'm very excited that this game came out because when we played the demo, I thought it was a beautiful masterpiece of a piece of storytelling as well
Kaizen,
as a
a factory story.
Zachtronics style game. Okay, what is a Zachtronics game? I think as a genre, I think you can describe a Zachtronics game as something bordering on the thing itself. That is to say, it insists upon itself. It is a genre of game that is about doing the thing, and the thing is some complex task that people do in real life, like engineering things. This is bordering on that, and yet it has its own flavor from the demo that we saw of a storytelling game that deals with a person entering this new place in this, unfamiliar land, trying to make the most out of it. And I'm very curious to see where the story goes because, and this is why I want to play this game. It's an experience that I've had myself. God, what a sick baller intro. Sorry, it's just such a good animated intro. Do I know what Kaizen means, by the way? I don't know the meaning of the word, but I know roughly the meaning of the thing that it typically is used for whenever people use it. Like, at least in this game, the way that it presents what the Kaizen word means refers to at least my understanding of the process that is known as like the Kaizen cycle or something, where basically it's just the iterative process of gathering feedback, iterating upon that, and then providing continual improvements to something. It's actually one of the, and the only reason that I know it is because it's one of the progenitors of the idea of agile today. So it's like, I don't know the actual meaning of the word as it is translated literally from language to language, but at least for me, my understanding of it comes from the agile methodology in software, where it's about this idea of, working in smaller cycles, getting as much feedback as you can, and iterating upon that in order to move towards some level of achievement, whatever that achievement may be. An achievement means a lot of different things, right? For a company, I think a achievement for a company can mean profitability, because I don't think you can have a company without profitability. It's just the nature of the business. It's just the nature of capitalism that you have to have profitability to have a business. And so, at least in my mind, achievement there means profitability. But on a personal level, you can apply this to yourself too. On a personal level, it may be that you make software that may meet some goals and some cool metrics for yourself. Like, you might want to make a software that runs really well on a particular platform, but as you make it, you may realize that over time people aren't using it on that platform, but they're using it on a similar but different platform. And so you can sort of use that information to iterate towards that, and all of a sudden you've achieved your goal in some way, right? But it's interesting to think of the fact that the methodology really is not about reaching some goal. It's very hard to explain. You care about an achievement of something, but you don't necessarily care about the goal, because the goal is unclear ahead of time. This is sort of like the weird thing that I had to sort of wrap my head around initially, is that what is the goal? You don't really know. It's only by taking in the feedback of what you're doing and iterating upon that you eventually get to a state where you understand what the goal is. You might, for instance, make a product and you might say, oh, this product is really cool. And in fact, this game had that story within the demo for that one particular level where you made the toy binoculars, and how it didn't actually work, but it was fun as a toy. You realize that, oh, it's not a good binocular, but it's fun as a toy. You don't, like, by the time you make it, at the beginning, they didn't even know that the goal was to make a toy. They actually wanted to make a binocular. But when they found out that kids liked it, that's when they shifted everything to make it into a toy. That's the goal all of a sudden. And so achievement is really sort of a fluid term. Don't think of it as something that you plan ahead of time, but think of it as a destination that you'll know as soon as you get there. It's like, it only becomes clear through the process of Kaizen, which is through the process of taking in that like feedback and iterating upon it continuously in order to meet those goals. I don't know how to do it for software. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. it's exactly the same as me leaving you out on the streets. I'll never forget. Okay, we've already done all this. If you want to see me read all this, I've already done all this during during the whatchamacallit, during the like, demo. I just wanna go through
Hello?
and get to the point where it's
I'm
new.
David. David Sugimoto?
Oh, yes. You're one of the new hires this year, aren't you?
But I can't skip the voice acting because the voice acting is genuinely fantastic. It's actually fascinating how accurate every character sounds. I don't mean this in the sense that they have accents or something. This is not like a weird racial thing. It's because of how old he sounds and how young Sugimoto sounds and how naive he sounds when he says certain things, and how when Sugimoto says certain words and like certain phrases, he has this level of like confidence because he hasn't really been through the circuit for very long. And how defeated, for instance, Oyama-san can sound when they're talking in the bar, as well as the other person who I forget their name now. Sorry.
We've been expecting you.
I only know your name as soon as I see you. Once you leave my mind for about 2 days, I forget about you. The only people I've been able to consistently remember is my wife.
Welcome to Matsuzawa Manufacturing Factory Number 1. This building has a real nostalgic feeling, doesn't it?
Oh, there must be some mistake.
There must be some mistake.
I think that's what I chose last
I'm
time.
afraid you might have the wrong person. I was hired to work on the international sales team.
And again, I'm gonna tell you my dream once we get to the point where it really
Don't worry. This old factory
matters.
has been through a lot of
You'll learn about my
years,
dream
but
soon.
Its equipment still works beautifully.
Also, I just realized I didn't pick this up during the demo, but Oyama-san really didn't care about what Sugimoto says. Oyama-san just said, "Oh, don't worry. I know you're here for the sales team, but let's forget about that. Listen to my story. This is my factory."
I'll support you, so there's nothing to fear.
Like he doesn't care. He's just like, "Listen, you'll find joy here. This is what it means to this is what it means to practice Kaizen." Oh my god, this is chat. I just had a revelation. This is what it means to practice Kaizen. When you practice Kaizen, you should apply it to your career as well. You have to live. You ever see Jim Carrey's Yes Man? This was before he was problematic. Jim Carrey, Yes Man. Yes Man was a great movie where if you just say yes to everything, life gets a lot better because you never know where life will take you, and you'll take on a whole bunch of new opportunities in life. You no longer say no, and so all of a sudden you're now thrust into unknown, situations that you won't know what to do in. But these situations give you invaluable experience in life and broaden your horizons. Oyama-san is forcefully applying Kaizen to my career choice because we are Sugimoto. Therefore, dragging me out of the hell that is sales, because I would have... we've all seen Wolf of Wall Street. Eventually, I would have to do cocaine, okay? And into the better path of engineering. It's like Chad Engineer, Virgin Sales Team, okay? Chad Engineer goes home, doesn't even have a printer, and smashes the smart doorbells on their home. And if their appliances break, they fix it on their own for $5 instead of calling like a technician to solve it for $1,000. Virgin Sales Team requires a little powder every day just to be able to survive. Okay, has to go in and schmooze someone up just to be able to make money, and then goes home to a family that doesn't care about them.
You'll be putting together production lines before you know it.
I like you, sales team. I'm just making fun of you, okay? I'm making fun of you because you've all been depicted as... Why do salespeople always get depicted as like heathens upon society? Like the people that you wouldn't want to meet out in public because they do the worst possible things ever. You know what I mean? Like they do drugs. They have sex.
This doesn't make any sense. I came from America to work in business.
I'm an American. Where's my cocaine?
I don't know anything about engineering. I didn't study it in school or anything.
Looks like we're about to start the morning assembly.
He doesn't give a shit. I just playing this section again is way funnier to me because you really hear how little Oyama-san gives a shit about Sugimoto's feelings. Like Oyama-san is just like, we're about to start the morning stand-up. Let's go.
Come join us.
Ew, sex. Oh yeah, right. I forgot. This is the what you call it, right? The like thing. I don't have I have a split keyboard. I need to remind everyone. So my arrow keys are split across my left hand and my right hand. My right hand does my left-right keys. My right hand does my up-down keys. I don't know why it's like this. I should have maybe fixed it when I changed it, but I didn't bother to. I really should have done like a WASD style thing back when I built this keyboard, or like when I programmed the keys onto the keyboard, but I didn't think about that. I just thought I would never use my arrow keys, and I've used it a lot within games. And it should be WASD, but this is I'm pretty doomed over here. Wait, I'm doing pretty well. We haven't failed yet. How come we don't do these here in North America?
I'm not used to moving so much so early in the morning.
Yeah, how come we don't do like group like dancing sessions over here in North America? Like I feel like we should, because if we don't, you know what I mean? Like it feels like it'd be a fun thing to do to break the monotony of the day, and the more time you waste in your 8-hour shifts, the better. IMO. What is that emote? Wide gay dance. Why did I add that emote? But also, it's such a perfect emote.
Are you feeling it yet?
Feeling it? Feeling what?
The pain in your chest. You have arrhythmia. You need a Littmann 3G 3M stethoscope. You need the classic 3 Littmann stethoscope, branded in the fade skin line to help you diagnose your health issues. If you weren't here for the beginning of the stream when we were like checking out and then we learned that doctors have like skin-themed stethoscopes, you won't know what's going
The
on.
Matsuzawa spirit, of course. Surely you're getting a taste of it by now.
I'm tasting something. I don't even know what you're talking
I
about.
don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just keep going and you'll see what I mean.
Just keep going and you'll see
Now
what
let's
There we
take
go.
this spirit with us into the factory.
I need to copy their voices for later. Okay, so again, we've already done all of this. So if you want to see what all this is, you have to go watch my playthrough of the demo, because my thoughts can't be the same. You know what I mean? Like, my thoughts are going to be the exact same on this game, regardless of whether or not I do this I can't do this any differently. I can't do this any differently. And so, because I can't do it any differently and my thoughts are always the same, you might as well just go and watch me play the demo where my thoughts were fresh and pure and untainted by foresight. Because this is the thing, people always say, I want to read people's minds or I want to see the future. Well, guess what, buddy? Then you have no more joy in your life. You have no joy of discovery. You can't give an honest opinion on something because your opinion is tainted by time. It's not the same. However, I don't remember the answers to the puzzle, so we're gonna have to figure this out. What are we making? We're doing this thing? Okay, tuna bar. We do this, and we gotta do the. How do we do this again? Weld. Whoa. I don't remember how to do this. I think we do this. I think we do this. We weld. And then how do you do the other portion? How do you spin this around? How do you spin this around? Oh, there's 2 welders. Oh, oops. Oh, there's 2 welders. Oh, oops. There we go. Okay. Now I remember how to solve these. Wait, I'm gonna be skipping up until a certain point because we've already done all these.
Here are the copies
Oh,
of the
Tomoe, that's her
pamphlets
name.
that you
Tomoe.
requested.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not sexist or anything. I just have really bad memory. I didn't remember her name, but she's important to my understanding of. She's important to the understanding of my dream too.
Oh, thanks. You can set them over there.
And this must be the new employee. I'd heard there was an American joining us this year.
Was it cool to be an American back then? Or like, at least was it cool to be different back then? Because nowadays it's like people look at Americans and with like a certain level of disdain for various reasons.
You heard correctly. This is David from Indiana.
Indiana. You know what's crazy? I can't imagine, and I didn't really think about this. I can't imagine giving up my entire life to go for a job overseas where there's no guarantee that it'll be good. It's actually a very bold move. And I thought to myself, like, because back in high school, when I was younger, this was a good, I don't know, 15 years ago now. So I'm pretty old now. I'm actually recently 30. Not that you would know, but I will next year do a birthday reveal stream, and it's just gonna happen, and you won't even know that it's a birthday reveal, and you have no clue. But when I was in high school, I did have this feeling of me wanting to go and I guess like travel the world and see what's there overseas to find something. But I never. It's interesting to sort of think about that. I think back then I had more confidence, but because I was stupid. Because it's like, I didn't understand exactly what you'd be losing when you go that far, because I was younger and more unaware of the world. Whereas nowadays, I look at that move and I go, I don't know if it's worth it. You don't think you would ever move because of work unless it's maybe life-changing money. Yeah, exactly. Like nowadays, my opinion of it has changed where I'm like, it's not even because I'm less afraid. If anything, I feel even less afraid of being able to throw my life into something and just trying it out. I feel less afraid to try new things because I'm more confident in myself. But it's more so just the understanding of how much you would lose and how much complications that would arise, right? Like, now that I'm older, I recognize the responsibilities that I have. I've always had them, even when I was younger, but it's only when you're older that you have to deal with them, and thus you gain a respect for them that you don't necessarily have when you're younger. And even then, you sort of think about the logistics of such a thing and how many different things that have to fall into place to make it work, and you realize how much of a headache it is just for some very superfluous gain, or if any, right? Like, not to say that traveling is not necessarily in and of itself worth it. I think traveling by itself is worth it because you get to have a new perspective on the world. But to say that you don't lose something in that process, I think is folly. And I think when I was younger, I had that mindset of, I have nothing to lose, why not go for it? Whereas, nowadays I recognize you have a lot more to lose, not just in terms of time and money and sort of like energy, but also in terms of different opportunities and different things that you can be there for. Like if tomorrow someone that you care about back home gets a heart attack and he goes to the hospital and has like 2 hours left to live, you're not going to make it back in time. You won't be there when they die, and you might not even be ready because it's so sudden. But if you were home, maybe you could have saved them. You know what I mean? Like there's so many different things that could happen. It's very difficult to sort of, I guess, step away from that level of safety. But maybe that in itself is a problem too. Of maybe I am not as confident as I would like to believe. Because is that not confidence to be able to say that things will be okay and that you should be doing this for yourself too? I don't know. Give me a moment. My day is so much better. I just talked to my wife. Superfluous. Wait, how do you pronounce it? How do you pronounce superfluous? Superfluous. Oh, it is superfluous.
Superfluous.
Anyway, superfluids. So what's crazy is that you go there and there's a superfluid tangible benefit. There's a superfluid benefit to what you get out of it. I still think it's there, but on some level I do think I'm still just hesitant because I'm still not confident about the state of my world, if that makes sense.
Nice to meet you, David from Indiana.
Okay, we've seen all this. There's nothing. No, I have no idea what's going on.
I'm sure.
That's I kind of wish that it carried your save over from the demo so you could skip all this. But at the same time, I get it. That's like an annoying thing to program because then it's like you have to deal with the save format being the same. It's easier from a development perspective to say the format is now different and you deal with it as an end user. It's the same reason why we have multiple different file formats, right? We just suffer the consequences because we don't want to have to deal with the problem. Yeah, it just makes sense. Anyway, so we're gonna do this with the welder over here. I haven't even told you the game. I haven't even told you what the game is about. The game is about how does it work? How does it work? Wait, is it only pull? Is it only grab? Or is there like a push? Can I make this push? How do you make this push? Grab, on, off. Am I stupid? And then come back, and then now you gotta move -3. Don't grab, and you pop it there, and then you well, there you go. The point of the game is you have a schematic, you have a thing that you have to make, and then you build the plan to build the thing. Is it about programming? No, it's actually it's simpler than that. I think it's not. Again, when I played the demo, I said the same thing where it's not as complex as something like a Zachtronics game, but it's also not as easy as something like a simple block puzzle game. It has a level of complex logic to it where you have to think about the sequence of events to optimize it, but it's not about free-form programming insofar as you have all the options. It's about using the state of tools that you have to come to a solution. It's a bit like training a crow how to use tools, and it's a lot less like being Alan Turing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, on a scale of you are a crow and you are Alan Turing, you are a crow in this game. Which is still very complicated, because, again, if you've ever seen a baby try to play with the block toys, you ever seen, a baby try to put the square... You ever seen the one meme video of that lady who is like, okay, now put the square inside the square hole, It's like that. Even some adults can't solve that. So there's a certain level to the complexity of this game that's there, but it's not so difficult that you have to learn how to program. And so it's enjoyable for more audiences while still giving you the same feeling of satisfaction. I think it's a strength of this game that they've condensed down the aspects of programming that is fun into a form that isn't as complicated and as obtuse as programming. Because I'm a programmer and I can say this, programming is obtuse. Programming is an imperfect abstraction over the realities of what the machine is doing with electricity flowing through its various circuits. This game says, I'm going to abstract that even further into a language that even a child could play and have fun with. That's the beauty of this game. Again, we've already seen all this because I played the demo, but you know what I mean? This is sort of what we're doing here. Gotta do this, gotta do that. This is this side first. This thing's a little spinny board. Put that bad boy over here. So you gotta weld it. First you gotta weld it. You gotta go like this. And you spin, you weld, you spin, and then you're done. And then you spin it back. Okay, that's a wristwatch. Yep, here we go. And then, okay, when we get to the new stuff, then I'll stop doing this, okay? Okay, that's my dad writing a meal at a field binoculars. Okay, night vision goggles. This was the goggle thing that I was talking about. How this is the Kaizen mindset where you build something and you think it's for a specific purpose, but then you realize it's not really for a specific purpose. You realize that, well, wait a minute, the purpose that you thought it was for is actually completely different because people care about it in a different way. That's what Kaizen is about in my mind. It's about even, I would, like, basically what I'm saying is I would argue that Kaizen is even about the mindset of thinking about your business as a process to be improved too. But a lot of places, okay, this is something that I will talk about as I'm solving this. A lot of places don't see it like that. There's a lot of places that really don't view the process of, oh, I put it on backwards. Oh shit, oops. How does this work? Oh. I don't get it. But a lot of places view the process of business as you think of an idea and you make it work. It's actually the one thing that I find interesting about startups. In my mind, a startup is not that. Like a startup that's focused on getting the idea correct from the get-go and basically making it into the perfect thing out of the gate feels like the wrong approach. Because you don't even know what people want. Like, there's no way that you can predict what people want, because what people want might be completely unintuitive to what they actually desire. Like, it's strange. And a lot of places don't apply that, though, to the idea of even the business model, because they seem to think that their idea is the best thing ever. Like, they're eating their own shit. And so, they create these things, and they do these things that don't have any relevance to the world, and so they have no market, and all of a sudden their product market fit is dead. When I think to myself, you should try to think about how to get to a place that people want, and the only way to know that is by continually iterating towards what people want. It's the same reason why Fortnite exists. Like, think about this, right? Epic Games pulled a Kaizen on Fortnite, and now they're a multi-billion-dollar company in the industry with Ariana Grande fighting Batman and Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. You don't get that by staying static in your ideas. You get that by being fluid. But I even find when I work with business leaders, a lot of them can be very static in their mindset. It's the most frustrating thing to work with because a lot of them don't see the writing on the wall, and then we eventually get bought out, and then the things get reshuffled by a competitor that knows and that applies that idea of continual improvement to their own DNA. That is my business rant on why Kaizen should be a required reading for even business leaders to re-examine. And then business leaders also need to go to a therapist. Also, you've activated the shitters bot. Now you're thinking about shit. Now you're thinking about caca. Depends on what you want. You want to become successful, sure, but if you want to create your game, then it's a different story. Well, yeah, obviously. But your game, and this is the thing, right? How do I explain this? Your game, you might not even know necessarily what you actually enjoy until you actually understand what it is that you're making. Like, I don't know how to explain this, but even for something that's creative, right? you yourself don't really know yourself until you really see yourself in a different mirror, in a different light when you're trying to like do it. Don't think of the audience as being the litmus test for that. You're thinking of it in the wrong stage. Basically, when you're creating your game, you are the Kaizen. You are your audience. You're your own audience. And so when you're making your own game and you're iterating on it for yourself, that's when you really hone in on what you want. This isn't like a put everything to the public thing. What I'm trying to say is target the audience that you want to target and think about what they're thinking about. And if that audience is you, really think about what you want here. Because you might not even know what you want, and you might even realize that you don't like it by the time you make it. And if you find yourself to hold on to the idea because it's your baby, even though you yourself don't like it, then is it really your game? That's what I'm trying to say, right? Continuous improvement is not an act of doing things in public and letting the public say something about it. It's purely about that idea of iterative feedback, and it doesn't matter who the audience of the feedback is. That's valuable feedback that you should be listening to, even if that comes from yourself. And you may have a problem with yourself where you need to let go of your ego to say like, hey, maybe this game, the original idea that I had, it just doesn't work, and I don't find it fun because it isn't fun for me. And maybe this other thing that I do find more fun is actually better. You think there could be more definition for your game? Okay, now you're getting pedantic and you're getting semantic, and I'm gonna tell you to shut the fuck up. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to go on like a 60-hour like rant about this? Do you want like a whole video vlog series? This is a single rant on a shitpost stream where we play video games. If you're looking for a larger definition, then you need to go ahead and make your own series of talk shows, because this is not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about this one specific scenario in businesses where you're making some idea, and specifically for the things that I've seen. If you want that type of advice, basically what I'm trying to say, if you want to take generalized advice and you want to try to make it more specific, that's never going to work, because the generalized advice doesn't have any specifics, and your specific situation is probably going to like differ. You're just making a conversation and trying to tell your side. You can tell your side to the wall. You can tell your side to the wall. That's between you and God about what you want to think about in terms of what is your game, right? This is like it's not a conversation. It's just more about like you just want to tell me about your thoughts. And in reality, what you want to say is, well, actually, this is what I think about it. It's like, I don't know about your game. You define it. That's your game, buddy. I don't know. Maybe your game is not for you. It's about creating your idea. It's like, I don't know what you define it as. If you don't tell me, then I don't know. And even if you tell me, what am I going to say about it? That's your idea. You are doing Kaizen on your own. You are literally practicing Kaizen right now. And there's no need for there to be a conversation, because you have now entered the Kaizen mindset for yourself. You can have a rubber ducky do it, and they would have more things to say about it, because ultimately, what you want to say is what you want to say. Don't fool yourself into believing that this is a conversation. Don't fool yourself into believing that this is like a back and forth, that you actually genuinely care about the opinions of someone else, right? You're just trying to talk about your own idea, and you're trying to refine your own idea, and you're doing it in public, and you're just trying to do it in a way that doesn't make you feel alone. But in reality, you're doing this and you're not really going to care about what I say. You're just doing this and you're defining it based on your definitions. Like, that's what I mean by you might as well just go on a talk show for yourself. Because it's like, that's what I'm doing here, right? I recognize that a lot of this stuff is not a conversational topic. I recognize that this is just me ranting to the air. But I don't think you're ready to recognize that too, where it's like, you define it yourself. No, if you're not receptive for it, you're not wasting energy about it. No, it's not about being receptive. What do you think I have to say about your idea? What can anybody say about your idea? That's the thing that I think you're missing. Completely about the space, right? It's why I need to make sure that you need to know that this is not like a space for us to have just like conversations of that type. If you have a certain idea and you want to stick to it, that's it. You know what I mean? Nothing. You weren't expecting me to say anything. So why did you say it in the first place? Then why did you share your side? Why would you share your side if it's just meant to be there out in the wild and you don't care about what people say about it? Because some people do that sometimes. Why? Hone in on that and let me know why. And then if you do that, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know how to tell you, but there's nothing here for you. There's nothing here for you. There's nothing here for you. Some people do that sometimes. Maybe I'm weird. No, you're not weird. It is true that some people do that sometimes. I just don't know how to say it, but it's like there's not really much that anybody can really do for you if you do it here. Because it's like, then what is the point of you saying that? And then what does that make others, and then where does that place others? Because now it's like, and again, this is the problem. This is why I'm telling you not to do that. Because it's like, let's say you do that, and then you feel like you don't want to care if I don't reciprocate. But I don't want to reciprocate because I know that you're saying it for yourself. Like literally, if I say something, so basically this is what's happening. This is why I'm telling you that this is kind of a weird thing to like do. Okay, this is the parasocial mindset. If you say something and you expect people not to say anything, and then you say, I wasn't expecting you to say anything, but then you also say, if you're not receptive, I'm not going to waste my energy. It's like, what's the point? This is woman level of mind games. You're on your last warning. Don't be sexist. This is not woman level of mind games. This is me saying you're literally just in this weird parasocial space where it's like, I think you're expecting a heavy level of conversation, but you yourself don't care about the conversation. You just want to say things. And then you get on my case about having a conversation when you yourself admit that you don't want to have a conversation. If you're gonna, devolve it into shit like that, I don't want you here. This is your last warning. You may be the second person that I ever ban because you don't get it. Because you're so locked up in your own mindset about it. Again, I don't mind if you just want to say things, but then if you all of a sudden go and then you say like, okay, what if it's like this? And really, it's like this. It's like, buddy, I don't know. Like, that's on you. Like, that's your idea about it. We all have different opinions about it. And then when you say you don't want to, it's like, what's like going on? No, you wasn't. No, you weren't. Usually you add stuff to a conversation without expecting anything. Oh, well, that's fine. I mean, if you add things to a conversation without expecting anything, but then why would you say that you're just making a conversation? Like, it's not really a conversation if you're not expecting anything. And if I say anything, then it's completely different. Basically, you just can't tell your idea about stuff here. No, you can tell your ideas about stuff here. I just need to let you know that, like, your ideas and my ideas, they're talking about two different things. But also, you can talk about your ideas here, but then if you resort to like to this mindset of like, oh, dude, like it's so oh, dude, that's such a woman mindset to have, then it's like I don't want you here. You know what I mean? Like, you're missing the point of what I'm saying, which is you can share your ideas here, but let's be honest with ourselves. You don't necessarily care about sharing your ideas. You care about someone listening to you, which is not the same as sharing your idea, because then there's no conversation. And it's cool that you share your idea, but if I'm not allowed to say anything about it that would otherwise piss you off, and then it's like, I don't know if you should just type it, or like not type it, right? Because me reacting in that way is me saying, well, I mean, this is the like difference, right? But clearly, it's not going to go anywhere, because then now you're like, oh, no, I can't share my idea. Why are you saying this? No, it's wrong, man. No, this is what I think about it. This is the like definition of it. It's like, buddy, I'm not going to expand. I don't know how to talk about your idea. That's your idea. That's your idea. That's between you and God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what your idea is. Do you get what I mean now? How come your leg doesn't fit? You literally said that I will ban you if you don't understand me. If you don't understand me. No, you don't get it. You I think I spoke too quickly for you to understand. I'm going to ban you if you're going to derive and deride other people and groups of people for something and misinterpret what I'm saying. And you're saying things like, basically, I was going to ban you for saying this is a woman's level of mind games, instead of just recognizing that you didn't have to say that, and that ultimately that's separate from the idea of you sharing your idea. Like, I gave you a valid response to what you said. I gave you a very valid response to what you said, and now you're getting very upset about the fact that I gave you a very valid response of like, but your idea is like different and from my idea, and what can I add to your idea? Like, that's between you and God. Your idea of what your idea of a game is, of what your idea of a game is, of what your game is, like, your definition of your own things, I don't know your definitions. And so there's nothing I can say about it. You're trying to add something to a conversation without expecting anything, but your definition of a conversation and my definition is different. Now you're being pedantic. You're being pedantic again. I don't know how to explain it to you that you're being pedantic, but you're being pedantic. Oh man, I feel like I'm speaking in a very normal sort of way that most people would understand. But really, I'm only gonna ban you if you do that type of shit again, where you deride an entire group of people for no reason. And again, I'm not saying that your definition is bad. I'm saying that you clearly aren't here for a conversation, because if I give you a different definition, then all of a sudden that's not really a conversation. You're telling me about your idea of a thing, and then you're asking me to expand on it to include your idea, but I can't, because that's your idea. I don't even know your idea. It is literally the definition of your idea that is your own idea that I can't expand to include because I don't know your idea. You weren't asking me to expand. Okay, so let's just scroll up here. It depends on what you want. You want to become successful, sure, but if you want to create your game, then it's a different story. You think there could be more definition for your game. Maybe my game is not for me, but it's about creating my idea. Okay, yeah, sure. There could be more definition for it. Yeah, but why are you saying that? Should I expand my definition to include yours? So why would you say it otherwise? Well, that's because you're hoping to have a conversation about it. I was just making a conversation. Now, you're not receptive. No, I wasn't expecting you to say anything. So you're having a conversation where I'm not trying to talk to you back. You completely misunderstand it. Maybe you weren't wording it properly. Yeah, you're not wording anything properly. That's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is you're not wording anything properly, and then you're being standoffish when I call you out on it, and then it's like, okay, well, what am I supposed to say about this? What am I supposed to say when you put something like that inside the chat? I'm doing this to you specifically because you're a new chatter who is, because you're a new chatter who needs to learn the way of the land here, okay? Like and you're free to leave. I don't give a shit if you stay or if you go, right? And I don't give a shit if you disagree with me either. I don't give a shit if you disagree with me either. I'm fine with disagreements. But what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't know your idea. Like, I can't expand the definition to include your idea. You haven't even told me about it. You're practicing Kaizen. That's on you. Good on you. But I don't know what to say about that. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. There's always something about the way that people talk on this site that like make me that make me surprised, because it's like, how do you not get it? You know what I mean? How do you not get the point of like what you're saying here? Like, how do you not get what's like going on? You know what I mean? It's like, buddy, like you've completely missed the point on everything here. And then it's like you just keep on going, and then you just throw in like a random sexist comment like this is a woman's level of understanding. It's like you didn't have to do that, and now you're on a final, notice, because you've been sort of like going towards this like weird route of that type of mindset. It's a fascinating, it's a very fascinating mindset to like stare at. How the hell do you build this robot? I don't get how the legs can build, because I feel like I'm doing the legs properly. But the riveter should be able to shoot through. So basically, the riveter is a piece that can shoot through multiple spaces in order to weld a surface to another surface. At least within this game. I don't know how they work in real life. Because a riveter being able to do that feels like you'd have to pierce the thing. And I think that's why we weld. But I don't know enough about the process to make it work. Maybe it uses electricity. I'm not sure. But I feel like I'm doing it correctly. Unless I'm facing the legs the wrong way. Or the riveter can maybe work at an... I don't know if this can work. But the key is that the leg itself is not actually being attached to the creature, which feels like it should be getting attached, because it has the weld action here, and this is one of the riveters, but I don't know why it's not riveting. Unless they do it from his shoulder, which does seem kind of strange. Or maybe it only goes one single space, so maybe I need to build it a different way. But you can't rotate the pieces. I forgot how I solved this last time. And I was too busy ranting about the fact that, like, you're not, about like a chatter's mindset here. How do you actually do this? I think you need to go through multiple phases. Anyway, so yeah. This game is entirely about this. It's why I enjoy this type of gameplay concept, because it's simple enough that it's away from the Zachtronic style. Where looking back at Zachtronic the Zachtronic gameplay style, it's way too complicated at times. Like, a lot of it is even... Some of the games are even just straight up assembly programming, which carries all the baggage of what that game is. Whereas this is just... it's just a Crow level game. You take the idea of the tools that you have and you try to make it work within the context of what the game is trying to make you do, right? And it's very simple. It's simpler to understand, but it still has a lot of complexity in its own right. But that complexity is, I think, a good abstraction of what the fun of programming is, which is like the problem solving aspect. The problem is I'm not solving the problem. I don't really know why. I don't really know why. Is this thing... not the right position. Do I need to... How come the leg doesn't fit? Because this thing can only go up and down. Wait, can I fusion weld it? Can I fusion weld it by pushing it upwards and forcing the thing to melt in? Tools cannot run 2 commands at once? What? Oh, because this one tool does a spin and a push, and they can only work in a sequence. I must be missing something simple. Okay, so wait, we weld, and then we weld. I don't know. That's the design. Do you need to rotate the arm? No, you don't. It has a rotate button, but I don't think the rotate button matters. Although I get why it's telling me to do this. I think it's because if it's here, how do I get the leg on the other end without rotating the leg itself? I think I need to move the rotator elsewhere. That was not the solution. Okay, we're running into an error. Okay, no, it matters where I put it. Can I zap him through here? No. Now his head is just discombobulated. Now his head is just unattached to his body. And now there's nothing left of him, because he's dead now. I snapped his neck. What am I missing? I can't do this, because when you flip it over, it's going to flip away from the tools. It has to be here. The rivet here, but this one doesn't work. Why doesn't this one work? Oh my god, there's a welding. I found the problem. Wait, the leg is the same way both sides? That's a good leg. Okay, yeah. Okay, we have to get to the point where my dream... We have to get to the point of the puzzle where my dream comes true. Which is a weird thing to say, but it's specifically during this cutscene. I think, or maybe it's the second section. I'm not sure. Okay, so we do this. Okay, so now this is the part.
David, this is Terahata-san from the business division. He's here to take you up to headquarters so you can start that job in international sales.
This was the part where somebody's like, hey, I'm gonna put you somewhere else for this job.
Oh, I see. Indiana, was it? Yes. I mean, that's the state I'm from.
Huh. You're like a real Indiana Jones.
I'm not sure that Indiana Jones is actually from Indiana.
Where is Indiana Jones from? Okay, maybe we'll skip most of this because we've already seen the dialogue. But there's one... Where's Indiana Jones from? Indiana Jones. George... What? George Lucas wrote Indiana Jones. Wait, is that why he's so rich? I always thought that he was just rich because Star Wars was popular. But if Indiana Jones is a popular franchise too, then this guy's making money. He wrote both Star Wars and Indiana Jones. What? When was Star Wars made? Star Wars, which began with the eponymous 1977 film, Indiana Jones started in 1981. In 4 years, he had 2 major bangers. And I wonder, does Indiana Jones stand on its own without George Lucas? I wonder if Indiana Jones was only popular because of George Lucas, or if it would have stood on its own, because I don't remember anything about Indiana Jones. But that's more on me and not really on Indy. Portrayed by Harrison Ford. What? Portrayed by River Phoenix at the age of 13. River Phoenix? What? He was Indiana Jones? What? When? Sean Patrick George Hall at 93. Sean Patrick Flannery. Wow, these are actually some crazy names. Where's he born? Where's Indiana Jones from? Occupation: archaeologist, U.S. Army officer, OSS. What is OSS? OSS, U.S. Army officer. Office of Strategic Services, okay? Doctor, PhD, linguist, college professor, antiquarian. An antique person, relating or dealing to in rare books. Where are you born, Indy? Where are you born? Voiced by... I guess they never bothered to write where he's born, and they just call him Indiana Jones because he's Indiana Jones. No. A native of Princeton, New Jersey. That's crazy. I would not have expected Indiana Jones to come from New Jersey, of all places. Because Indiana Jones is closer to Jersey Shore and then Paulie from Jersey Shore than he is to, I don't know, who else is from Indiana, America, a famous person. He's closer to Paulie D than he is to Larry Bird. That's impressive.
In Japan, though, we say Indie Jones.
In Japan, we say Indie
I
Jones.
see.
Oyama.
Anyway, this guy tells him to go and to
This'll be a
go to this random place out in the middle of nowhere to work in the factory and stuff. This was the part that I remember ending on, and I was like, this is a great game. Because very few games tackle this aspect very well. But also, it's weird how very few games just tackle this aspect at all. Like, this aspect of what it means to be a worker drone. Like, it's odd to think that very few games talk about this idea of being a worker drone in a place like this. But this was the thing that related the most to my dream, okay? And I'll tell you my dream now. I dreamt that I was back at work, which is a weird dream to have. And I dreamt that this opportunity was something that I was looking forward to. That was a cool job, B, seemed like cool people, but you don't really know. It's like a first time meeting them. And C, is at least a job of some kind. Because we, like it or not, we do need a job to survive. But when I got there, the nightmare began. And this is weird because last night, I was writing more of the rock climbing story, okay? That story, I think, is stuck with me because when I entered the office, immediately half the office got laid off and I was left with a sense of dread. And I was like, oh God, this is one of those awful places. Obviously, layoffs can happen for various reasons, but here, in my dream, the reason was not necessarily a good reason. It was just, we just wanted more money. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. Obviously, it's a dream, so there's biases of my own subconscious coming out and then being like, yeah, this is what you believe in, so therefore I'll make this the worst thing ever. And I remember in my dream just feeling the sense of dread where I was like, I don't even want to be here anymore. And so I didn't show up for work and I just slept in because I was tired. And then I got fired after. But I didn't feel sad. I felt relieved. I felt relieved that they didn't care about me anymore. And it's like, oh God, like the office experience is traumatic in some way, but I don't really know how. It's weird how the office experience can feel as traumatic as another event in terms of like the anxiety and what's that word? It's anxiety and this other mix of a feeling that presents itself almost like the sense of dread. The way that feels on you and the way that it burdens you, it's crazy how much that sticks with you and how much that comes through in a dream where it feels like all your emotions are hyper amplified to the point where it doesn't really make sense. Like it's like normally in real life, I may get like a shot of adrenaline and I might go, oh shit, this is bad. But then afterwards, it's smooth sailing. But in a dream, it's like everything that you feel and every feeling is seriously amplified by times 100. And it's super bad because it can make even the most mundane thing feel magical or awful. And yet, even in real life, it's like I remember those times when you would go to the office and you get and like I would get heart palpitations. I would feel this level of anxiety of like I don't even know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I have no fucking clue. And I remember specifically this whole thing of like dealing with the boss that was again really really abusive. I was like Jesus Christ, buddy. Like and having to be like the whistleblower for a lot of things and even being like the supporting reporter for certain things. It was like oh God, there's so many different things that go on there. That's why I wanted to play this game today. Because this game specifically came out, and I was like, I remember this story being very similar to that idea of a place that doesn't really respect you or your time or like what you've done, and just kind of throws you out there to figure it out on your own, and just says you have to do it because you have to do it because someone told you so. And it's like, oh man, that's what I wanted from the feeling of this game. Was this bar scene, and to see the continuation of this.
After all that, I guess I'm not going to headquarters after all.
You sure aren't. We're shipping out to Nowheresville.
And also, I really enjoyed the music, the way it cuts in right at that line. They've done a really good job in this game of timing everything too. Like they've done a really good job of timing the music to the story beats and then playing it right when you want it to play. Like a lot of games will sort of do the music and it starts as soon as you enter the scene and it doesn't really line up. Here, it feels like they finally crafted every single cutscene to hit the exact timings and notes that they wanted, and then they even composed a song to loop. It feels like perfectly because we sat on the screen for half an hour last time, and it just fits the mood all the way through. It fits the mood of the entire speech. So it's a really well done gig.
Why? What's the problem with it?
Well, it's just so far away from everything. It's out of the way, so it kind of feels like we're being passed over for more important things.
Oil up!
But he said it was important for the company.
I mean, you are basically being oiled up here for the company. it's the workers oiling themselves up for the company's whims. And when the company says you just gotta go, then you just gotta go. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, but that sucks, because it's like, you know, you kind of wish you could do your own thing within the space that still helps out the company doing your own thing. Mod, what have you done? Why did you press the button, Mod? Why do you keep pressing the buttons that I have to undo? Why did you enable emotes only? And it's fascinating because you wouldn't expect that from most workplaces. Like, especially the way that the managers talk to you and stuff, right? And this is not the fault of the managers. This is the managers are also cogs in the machine, and the managers are dealing with their own shit from on top, and they're trying to give you the space to be able to live your life and do your own thing. But yeah, oiling up for a company is just something that you have to do, and schmoozing the right people is something that just gets you ahead. And there is no real progression in like in the normal sense. It's something that has to come from top down, and it usually doesn't. It's almost always a progression that only comes from your relationships and not really your technical ability at something. It's a very weird thing that happens, and like the managers want it to be that way because in a way they feel like they got there in that way as well. But that's not also it's also not always the case. However, I will say the lower you are, the more sort of like lower on the rung you are, the more opportunity there's to rise purely based on skill. There's just at some point, it's weird how you hit the wall where it's your relationships, and you have to go with the company line to be able to go super far within the place. Like, it's weird how there's no allowance of divisive thought or even like a difference in the thought. Because it's like, you can disagree and have a difference in how things are done, but as long as you both have the same goal, does it matter, right? IMO at least. IMO, like, it feels like that should be the way things are done.
Matsuzawa Kaicho likes to golf, see?
And I also really like the story that he
Every time
told you.
Terahata plays golf with him, Matsuzawa Kaicho wins the bet. Why? It's not because the chairman is a better player. You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of person Terahata is.
And what about you, Oyama-san?
I was invited to golf with the chairman just once. I won the bet. That time.
Is that why Terahata-san is your boss and not the other way around?
No, I mean, probably not. He's much more senior than I am.
Copium.
I just mean to illustrate our personalities.
And honestly, you see this play out so many times, and having that dream, it was like, damn. It sucks to be in any sort of workplace. And even actually recently, my friend group, we had this, we're having this conversation. So you know the experiment that I do in Discord where I ask everyone how their day is going? I'm doing that in my friend group, my personal friend group, where I ask them how their day is going. And they've actually been opening up and sharing quite a few feelings about things. Things like, hey, like they feel like they finally hit some stride at work, or maybe they're feeling unconfident at work and they feel like they're being passed over for certain opportunities, or maybe they even feel like they're falling behind because of, you know, things that bad habits that they've had. And it's fascinating how universal of a feeling this is. And it's fascinating just how many people have the same problem. If only we were able to just open up about it. But it's also interesting to sort of see it play out differently in different ways, where everyone's concerns are slightly different. Like and they all have the same core problem of not being respected for who you are, not really being taken seriously for who you are, and not really being given the space to succeed in a space that feels like you should be able to succeed in because you know what to do, but the metrics for success are different from what you want them to be. You know what I mean? It's like, it's really about the relationship building and not really about the skill aspect.
Intentionally losing to the boss. I couldn't handle stuff like that. Once I start competing, I need to go all the way.
And I really enjoy how this game plays with that idea and then shows different aspects of it, like especially on the old school sexist side of work versus like the like old school, like, again, also sexist side. Like it's weird how on the sexism affects both sides, and you see it play out here as well.
You're lucky, Tomoe-chan.
And that's just one aspect of how
corporate politics will be a world away.
How like the workplace dynamic can present itself. It's like there's so many different forms that it can take. It's very fascinating.
Yeah, lucky.
And now we finally get past the demo into the new stuff. I have no clue what to expect from this point on. This is all new, and we are actually in the middle of nowhere. We've gone from a very nice, feels like a suburban area with a bunch of roads, although I don't really know if that's nice or not. I guess you could consider it to be nice, but I feel like at least this is closer to home, and so you don't have to take a very long trip out to the middle of nowhere for it, compared to here, where the roads are not banked by a nice guardrail to keep you safe, but it's expected that you're gonna fall into the river because that's what people do around here. Like, you're in the middle of nowhere now, and you're also beside a power tower, which, as far as I know, these are placed fairly far away from people for some reason, but I don't know if that's true or not. I only know of one case where a power tower was really close to somebody, and that was a high school for some reason. At least where I live. At least where I am. Yo, we arrived at the city of Gifu later that autumn. This is a very nice shopping street. Can I say something about these shopping streets? How come we don't have more of these in North America? It's weird that most of the time the shopping streets are relegated to like things like clothing stores or thrift stores or like service shops. Like, that's not a bad thing, but how come there's no restaurant streets or something? Like, there kind of is, but for the most part it's like selling you goods that aren't really things that you'd go for often, that you would go to hang out at. All of that stuff seems to be relegated to malls, where like the food court has a more higher density of random restaurants that you'd find, compared to a street like this where everything is like a place that you might want to go to hang out with someone after work or something. Like, it's strange. And obviously this is probably my bias because I also don't really go outside too much and I don't really want to, but I feel like there could be more of these here, at least as far as like the scope, the scale, and the density of it. I kind of wish there was more of it. There we met with Ishibashi-san, the man tasked with scaling up the production of plastic foods in order to support a restaurant chain with global ambitions.
Today, the plastic food in restaurant displays is usually made in small batches by individual artisans.
We also need this. We also need this here. I don't know why we don't do this here. I don't know if a food tastes good unless I can see it. I know it's weird to say because food is sustenance, and sustenance is just fuel that you enter into your body the way that you should enter gas. But I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm a dude who likes to eat, okay? I feel like if I can't see the food, I don't know how tasty it's going to be. And I feel like the look of a food matters a lot for how it tastes like. If you've ever seen the restaurant that does the curry that's flavored after human shit, because the owner of the restaurant used to be a porn actor in fetish porn where he used to eat shit, like literally eat shit on camera, that food doesn't look appetizing at all. I would vomit upon seeing it. But this, if I saw this and I saw that your pasta dish or a steak dish or a hamburger dish or an omelet looked like that, I would eat it in a heartbeat. And what's crazy is most menus don't have this. There's a new trend in the fancier restaurants where the menus go only with words. And I'm like, buddy, I just spent the whole day reading. Give me a visual treat. Let me see what your food is. I miss when the standard for menus was like ye olden family restaurant menus where you'd see different pictures of food and like a number underneath that you can order from. Nowadays, every menu is just words, and it's like, I don't care about the words. The words don't entice me to eat your food. I need photos. I need visuals so I know what I'm going to put into my mouth later, okay? And I've also watched a documentary on this. Apparently, this is still kind of done by artisans too. Like, there are actually smaller shops that you can do this by hand. And they teach you how, too. It actually does look fun. You basically just use plastic, and it's in hot water, so it's very soft. And you can actually mold it to look like a piece of lettuce or something. I'm terrified of doing it, though, because they do it in bare hand, and I feel like there's a lot of carcinogens or, like, microplastics.
But our current customer is a national chain that has plans to expand globally.
Actually, you know what's crazy? The only places that I see that do this are Japanese restaurants here. Whether it's a ramen shop or like an izakaya, just it's only the Japanese stores here in Canada that do this type of thing. I don't see this type of effort from anything else. In fact, there's a newer trend that I hate, and I don't know if you've seen this. I hate the digital displays for ordering food to look at the menu. It is the worst idea in the entire world. The menus are already nasty, but at least they were functional and very easy to flip through to be able to see what you want, right? It's tactile, it's smooth. The menu on an iPad is completely different every single time. And I know that, you know, I don't have to talk to the waiter and stuff, but I hate having to scroll through the damn thing because it lags. It doesn't feel good when you touch it and you pull it because they don't care about that level of quality of being able to make it as reactive as, say, a first-party application or just any application that you download from the store, which seems to have higher standards than whatever comes out of restaurants, okay? And then there's an evolution of that I also hate, which is the banner menus. Like you go to a fast food place and they have a banner menu on top of the cashier place. It's like it's the one on top of the cashiers, and you're looking for an item that you might want. You don't really know what you want. You just know that you want the flavor of the place, and then it cuts to a fucking ad. It cuts to an ad of their new flavor of McFlurry. And you're like, fuck off, I was looking at the menu. How about you give me the goddamn name so I know what I want to eat? I don't want a McFlurry, I want a goddamn hamburger. But you have to play an ad across the entire thing, and you get rid of the menu. I went to a shawarma place recently. A shawarma place, okay? They don't need that. They don't need an ad to show off shawarma. We all know what shawarma is. And like the shawarma, I'm going to be honest with you, it all looks mostly the same. And it's really the flavors that are different, and it's hard to visually display the flavors, right? But it cut out the menu as I'm ordering for this place for the first time. It's a new place. And it showed an ad, not even for a shawarma. It showed an ad for soda. It was like a soda can flying across and saying, Coca-Cola, enjoy a nice refreshing drink with your shawarma. And I was like, buddy, I don't think you know why I'm here. I don't think you understand why I'm here and what I'm looking for from your restaurant. I'm not looking for a drink. I'm looking for the food that is plastered all over the sides of your store outside, and that the name of your store is literally X Shawarma. It's something shawarma. I'm not going to say it because that would dox me, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
In order to supply them, we'll have to introduce some kind of automation to the manufacturing process.
That's where I come in.
At the same time, I don't want to lose the handcrafted quality of these items.
Okay, well now you're asking for two impossible things.
That does sound like a tough balancing act.
Yes, it's such a tough balancing act of wanting to make money while saving money.
It is. I assume that's why they sent this hotshot over here to help out.
I feel like he's making fun of me.
Hotshot? Me?
Yeah, I feel like he's making fun of me. This is my first time here. I have no clue what's going on, sir.
Sounds like the boss talked you up a little bit.
Maybe a little too much. Also, baller suit on the side over here. Very nice suit. This is a very nice scene that they've drawn here. Wow. They really captured the hustle and the bustle of this imaginative country called Japan. and they're really trying to sell you on this idea of we're now in a whole different place with a whole different vibe. But I do like this. I do like this idea of showing what it might look like if you had to go on the ground to go visit somebody at the front lines, quote unquote, of the job. I've had to do this a couple of times myself, which is weird to say that when you're working software. But I think even if you work in software, I think you should be told to go check out what people are doing, because then you have a better perspective of exactly what you could be building on your R&D times.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Don't worry, David. This is a team effort.
Yeah, well, I mean, I sure hope so. I don't know what I'm doing. This is not a team effort. Oyama-san, this is a you effort. I'm just following your lead.
Why don't you take care of the production lines? You seem to enjoy that.
I don't know what to do. I did? Sure, no problem. I did?
I did?
Okay, now the client is sweating. Now there's a sweat drop forming on the brow of the client, and they're starting to think to themselves, I don't know why I hired these people. I don't know why this company specifically, why did I hire them? Because I feel like the people that they sent me are not going to survive, and they're not going to make it.
You look like you were having the time of your life.
I was kind of, but I was also ranting for half of
While
it.
you're doing that, I'll work with Ishibashi-san on the plastic materials.
Wait, but I want to work on the materials. That sounds cool.
And I'll get us some reference items from the restaurant.
Okay, Tomoe, I don't know if that's you just want to eat. Oh, actually, that is a cool perk of the job. I wish I could work at places like this. The places that I worked at, the things that we dealt with on the front line, in terms of the scope, was not consumables. It wasn't edibles. It wasn't things that you could take home and wear or something. It was like services that were critical to some portion of society, and products that you can't use in its end form by itself, that you would have to integrate with others without having to get too specific. So when I saw it being made, I was like, this would be nice, but you can't get a sample of it to take home because A, it'd be illegal, B, it wouldn't do much at all for you because you don't know the rest of the steps. If I had a job like this, where I could get some references from the restaurant, and it's like, oh, the food's gonna go to waste, might as well eat it, I'd be happy. I would love to eat whatever food the restaurant makes. Even if it's shit, I would still eat it, because it's all a part of the job.
That's a great idea. Sounds like the Tasty Plastic Task Force is ready to begin.
That's why the mission's called Tasty Plastic Task Force. That's a good name. It's a very childish name, but it's a good fun name for us.
Tasty Plastic Task Force? Is that a name you made up just now?
Yes.
Let's go. Tasty Plastic Task Force.
I don't. He doesn't sound very happy about saying that.
This should be interesting.
I don't know if Ishibashi-san has more confidence in us or less. Has his opinion of us diminished or has it gone up further? Alright, Tasty Plastic Task Force, we're about to make some onigiri. In order to make the plastic rice on these onigiri look appealing, it can't be too smooth or opaque. See how real rice is almost a little translucent and slightly shiny? Then you have nori wrap, which has that textured glossy look. There are all kinds of factors like this, huh? How are we gonna know when we get it right? Just put one of a plastic onigiri out next to a real one. That's kind of nasty, actually. Wait, so do they do this? Wouldn't the food go bad and then you couldn't eat the food after? I know it's kind of a worthy sacrifice because it's not like the food is going to waste for no reason, and it is going to be used for some part of the process that results in a higher quality overall. But the fact that you can't eat it makes me sad because I would stare at it and I would maybe salivate over it. If someone tries to eat the plastic one, we'll know we've nailed the look. That's a cruel game to play. You know, there's a whole show about this. There's a whole show in Japan about this, and the entire show is like, is it cake or is it real? And there's one famous gif of a dude biting into the handle of a door, and he bites it off, and it's like, it's chocolate. And he's like, yes. Move parts in the cutters to remove material, and then cut them into separate pieces. Oh, we get to cut the rice? Oh, why is it cut so violently? Okay, sure. Alright. Wait. You know, I didn't think about this. But I guess that makes sense. Wait, does it make sense? I don't know. I thought they would just make like a thin piece of plastic to act as the seaweed to cover the rice with, in the way that an onigiri is. But we're cutting out the center of the seaweed of the rice for a solid piece of seaweed. So, okay. So, okay, how does it work? So we push it down by 2. If we push it down by 3, can we just carve this in any way we want? I guess we could. We just carve it any way that we want, eh? Well, I could carve this thing fully if I just... Oh, it's like those puzzle games. I know this is not what you're supposed to do, but it's like those puzzle games where you have to walk on every single square without overlapping on a previous square. And I've already did... I think starting in the center makes it impossible, but I'm not sure. If I go here, 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 here... Because you could just keep on doing it by pushing it around and causing the thing to like snap apart. B, move 1. It's like, Sugimoto, what are you doing? You're wasting all of our money, Sugimoto. Yeah, but it's so fun to carve it. I love carving it. Oh man, the whole thing's gone now. Okay, we'll do it seriously. Sorry, we'll do it seriously. We move it down 2. We move this down by 2. Then we bring it back by 2. And then we place the nori. Oops. But how does this work? It can't be there because there's space. You have to move it another way now. So you have to move it sideways. That's a little interesting. So you have to move it sideways and then down again? I guess that would work. But is there no cheaper way to do this? This is now, I think, when the game gets much more open in terms of the complexity. Like there's it's now freeform, and you have to care about the cost of the thing that you're making for performance reasons. At least, maybe not in terms of the real story, but in terms of what your goals are with this game. You have to do it in such a way that you save as much on cost as you can, while also meeting the goals. So now you're here, because now I need to move it over 2 spaces. The wrong one, sorry. And when I move it over, I need to bring it down into the nori, which is here. So then A has to go back down into the 2 spaces. And then I rivet these things together. Oh, my factory looks stupid. There has to be an easier way to do this. My factory looks a little stupid, and I've heard that as tolerance goes up. Like your requirement for tolerances goes up for certain designs. Like the space between this and the drill and how far it has to move to avoid it and how tight you can get to save space, the more expensive it gets. But even just the use of the tools and how many times I have to move them adds up, right? Is there an easier way to do this? Could I move the cutter? Do you think the word onigiri is too difficult for Americans to say? Yes, that's why in the Pokemon it's called a donut or something. Whenever we want to export products, we have to consider things like this. I don't think it's too difficult to say. It does remind me, sometimes my mom would put an onigiri in my lunch, and the other kids would say, "Oh, look, David's got a rice ball." I see. Rice ball. The shape isn't much like a ball, though. Tomoe, the Americans are stupid. The Americans don't understand. The Americans are stupid. They don't need to know this, okay? They won't... I'd be surprised if an American can solve the baby puzzle test. You know the baby puzzle test? The one where you baby to baby puzzle, put shape in the hole? I'd be surprised if an American could solve that test. No, exactly. They couldn't solve this. Look, go to Amazon.com. Oh, I thought you meant no as in like you don't believe that the Americans could. Well, now, okay, this is the toy. I can see that you've never been a baby. If you don't know what this is by the definition, you've never been a baby, and you need to talk to your family about this. I don't have any recollection of being under the age of 8. To be fair, I feel like I only became conscious at the age of 5 when I was like, what's my name? But this toy, okay? There's a funny video where the person puts all the shapes into the square hole because everything sideways fits into a square. At least with the size of these shapes. This is the toy that most Americans couldn't solve this. Rice ball, the shape of it being not the square is fine. Or not a ball, sorry. Yeah, it seems like there could be a better name. Rice triangle. Ishibashi-shan with the 3 dots to denote that he's lost faith in this team. Tomoe also with the 3 dots to denote that actually she's lost, and that Tomoe with the 3 dots signifies that it's only me that they've lost faith in. There's plenty of time to think about other names. I am the worst at this game that I possibly could be. 24 million yen. 24 million yen to Canadian, let's say. That's $200,000. Jesus. I wish there was a global score so I could see. Oh, 200 million yen to CAD in 1986, because this is in fall 1986. That's pretty bad. Yeah, it's actually a lot worse. Maki sushi. Shape, color, texture, every attribute is important to get right in order to create the illusion of real sushi. I see. I never thought about how many things you have to consider when making plastic food. If the results are even a little bit off, the effect goes from appealing to off-putting. So, it's important to get right. To get it right. Maybe to get right. So, it's important to get right. Oh, it's important to get it right. Not it's important to get it right. Right. Too bad the one thing we can't fix is the smell. If they didn't smell like burnt plastic, I'd be getting really hungry right now. Tomoe, you really shouldn't be sniffing the burnt plastic. You're going to get microplastics in your ovaries. Yes, if only we could make these models smell like the foods they represent too. Wait, do they do that now? Maybe a restaurant could do that. Okay, POV. I have an idea for a restaurant. Instead of a menu, they bring you a platter of plastic food that smells like the real food and that even tastes like it. Holy shit, chat, I'm onto something. Platter? Okay, wait, this is a genius idea. I put this in the projects folder and I go into not the games folder, but into the whatchamacallit, the business idea folder. Products. Rock. Okay, well not. Oops, sorry. Rock climber rock gamer chalk for your hands, and then we do, instead of gamer chalk, we do what's it called? We do wait, can I potential, what did I say? Potential collab with The Rock. Gamer chalk, flavored and smelly smelly sounds like a bad word. Flavored and smelly plastic food displays, plastic food counterparts, plastic food dioramas, let's say, okay? Like the plastic food you would find on the windowsills. Is it the windowsill? On the windowsills of Japanese restaurants, but flavored and smells like the real food. Instead of a menu, the waiter brings out a platter of these for you to taste and to smell. It doesn't make you full, therefore you can try every single thing until you find the thing you want to eat. And it's dishwasher safe, so we can sanitize it for the next customer. That's kind of disgusting, actually. It's all disgusting. Imagine licking something that somebody else has licked. Imagine licking the things that somebody else has licked. All because you want to know the flavor of the food that you're gonna order. But you know what? Let's leave that for the health and safety associations of your respective country to solve. Let's focus on the money-making idea, okay? Let's focus on the money-making idea. This is a product for me, and therefore I'm sticking with this. So it doesn't make you full. You can lick it, and then you choose which one you want to eat. This is better than a digital menu on an iPad attached to a breathalyzer, I guess, that can spit... Is that how you spell breathalyzer? That can spit out chemicals at your face to make it taste like the thing, because it also comes with the visuals. This is my moneymaker. I wish Oyama-san could find me from Indiana. I've long wished for a day where that becomes possible. Actually, it could even be cool. Okay, chat, this could even be extended to VR chat. You have a VR game that comes with a set of plastic food and the raw chemical ingredients to make the flavors and the smells that, if you combine in the right way, gets you the secret chemical called plutonium. And you can use that to make a nuclear bomb or something. But basically, when you put on the VR headset and you're in the restaurant, you can make these various chemicals, and you have, like, you know, the fake rice and the fake food that you can lick, so it feels the same. That has, and it's like tracked, so the things themselves attract with sensors, so you can actually pick them up, and it moves the thing inside the game too. This is what science is for, you know. This is what engineering and science is for shitpost ideas on the shitpost stream. Use Pokemans to push one center chant without grabbing, all in a single step. Thank you. I was wondering when we'd get something like this, because that feels like a thing that I would want to do. But also, I guess I didn't. Are we just making a set? We're just making a set of 6 Maki. How do you do this? Okay. You have 6 times sushi. Sure. So I need to poke it to push it. So this is a poke. You poke it over, and then would you weld like this, or what would you do to weld it? Or how many welds do you need to do? Right? You could weld them side by side and then above into the other one, but all you really need is 3 welds. Let's say you do side by side for the bottom. So we do a 2 by, like a side by side welder. That's 1 weld. We do it again. That's another weld. We have to rotate the entire thing. So the entire thing. How do you rotate this entire thing so it flips over? You can't. You have to push it. You have to push the whole thing up, which would push the entire piece upwards. So it push all 3 up, and you do it again. So you get 1, 2, 1, 2. Then you need 1 weld to connect it to the top side. To connect the bottom side to the top side, which is said in a different way, in a better way, to connect both halves. So for you to connect both halves, you then have to do another rivet weld. So that's 2 welds for each side, and then 1 rivet weld to connect the sides, which is 5 total. When you can instead do 3 rivet welds for the entire... Oh, no, you can't. Because you can't push it all at the same time to make it work. You have to do that. I think the minimum that you have to do is 5 welds. So boom, boom, and then you gotta go bada boom, You push it out 1 without grabbing. Well, I don't even need that. I just push it. We do B. And then same thing. We go A and A. And then we would do what? I don't know. I don't know. Because where we rivet is the important part. Where we rivet is the important part. It can't be here because it would. If you do it here, it would be stuck on this piece and it would move. It has to be at the very end here where we weld. All right. How do you play it again? How do you play this? Show area. Cost is 26 million yen. I don't think I'm making money off of this. I'm the square hole American. That's very satisfying, actually. Is there an easier way if I reconfigure it a different way? Like, this way works. Can I save this configuration somewhere? I'll remember that configuration. Could I do something like this instead? Where we go up, down, because this has to move 6 times. This pusher has to go 6 times regardless, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Sorry, 5 times. That's 5 times regardless of what we do. If I do it over here with C though, what could I do with C? I know, tools can't move at the same time. If I instead go upwards, is there a way that I could think about this differently? Would upwards even work? Like, could I do up, 1 spawns, then you weld 2? I don't know if this works. So, up spawns, you weld 2. You then have... This is looking stupid. I don't know if I should do it, if I should do this. You need at least 3 spaces, so it has to be like here. You have this on grab. So you have D on grab, and you just pull it back 1. And then you do, again, C. It welds. And then you do the grab again. Can I copy? Oh my god, you can't. Well, I see my problem now. I see my problem. It'd be too many welds. Okay, well, maybe my idea is the best way. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it simple. Perfect. I'm gonna bankrupt this company slowly. I'm slowly gonna bankrupt me. It looks nice when the 6 rows are lined up to each other like that. It's all compact and cute. Also, if we're doing this already, I just realized, what are we really adding to the process? If we're the ones who are doing the welding, but somebody has to handcraft the plastic pieces anyways, wouldn't it just be faster for them to stick the plastic pieces together? Because then somebody has to make the pieces individually. Isn't that where most of your time is spent instead of building the pieces into one thing? Because then how do you do curry? Indeed. Reminds me of the crest of the Sanada clan. The what? Sanada clan. The Sanada clan were long associated with Matsuhiro Domain in modern-day Nagano, the city. Wow, it actually does look like their crest. Huh. The Sanada clan claimed descent from Seiwa Genji. Historically, the clan's banner was established by Uno Yukiyoshi in the early 16th century. He emblazoned the Rokumonsen on his banner. The Rokumonsen? From Armored Corps is a Rubicon Liberation Front affiliated independent mercenary Armored Corps pilot. What? What? That's just word slop, man. It does, now that you mention it. Does everybody know about... Is the Sanada clan so famous that everyone knows about them? What's the crest of the Sanada clan look like? Thank you. Thank you. David is our North American counterpart. David is our North American spirit animal who is coming over and helping us understand what the world is about. Because we don't know anything about the clans. I'll have to find an example to show you. Maybe we have a book around here or something. I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of a 6-pack. You know, a beer? Oh, a 2-for? Wow, you buy 6 cans at a time? You must really love beer. Wait a minute, she's speaking the truth. Why do we buy 2-fors? Why do we buy 6-packs? Why don't we just buy 1 can of beer for the occasion? Why do we buy an entire case of beer? Why is it normalized to buy an entire case of beer? Well, I guess the question is more so, how many people drink alone that wouldn't want to have? How many people drink alone that a case of beer would be, that a single beer would suffice? How many people even bother drinking alone at all and instead only drink around their friends when they hang out, right? Except for alcoholics. Well, that's just how it comes back home. I guess I didn't realize it was different here. Big fan of beer, are you? Perhaps there'll be some waiting for you when we finish up this assignment. I feel like I've given everyone the wrong impression. You have. But you know what? That's okay, because you've made me question why we treat alcohol in such bulk volumes versus the single pieces that it should be. Factory work. Dear Mom, I can't read your letter. I'm from America. We don't learn how to read, nor do we learn how to read cursive. Dear David, your father and I read your account of being put to work in the factory with some surprise. I'll admit that at first I was upset, thinking you were being forced to do hard labor or something. But your father explained that the factories that you work with are highly automated. And what you're really doing is designing the way the machines move to produce each product on the line. That's certainly interesting. And I suppose it's a good idea to learn how all the products are made before you start selling them. Don't let the company push you around too much, though. You might have to remind your bosses once in a while that you have a fancy business degree and your job was supposed to be in international sales. Mother, I'm going to tell you something right now, Mother. The real world doesn't care about the piece of paper that I have. The real world cares about how much money I have to pay rent, and if I don't have enough, I'm subhuman, okay? The real world doesn't give a shit about me. Because do you know why? I don't know a single one of my friends who's working in their chosen career choice, except for one person. I only know 3 of my friends who are working in their chosen career choice. Everybody else is trying their best to survive. And you know what, Mom? That's the economy, okay? Back in your day, you could walk into some random office, get a random job, and buy a home for $78 on the dot, you know, and that's after all fees. The modern day of work is a very different place, and there's no such thing as enough jobs for everyone. Maybe, I don't know. It really depends on the industry, but it's too bad that Grandpa isn't around anymore, because I think he would have liked to talk about the ins and outs of factory design with you. You'll probably say it's all computerized now and totally different from the Studebaker lines you worked back in his day, but I'm sure there's still some points in common. Studebaker? Studebaker. Legacy. Studebaker was an American wagon and automobile manufacturer based in South Bend, Indiana, with a building at 1600 Broadway, Times Square. Then they shut down after an unsuccessful merger with Packard. Wait, Packard was a luxury automobile. Packard, like Hewlett Packard, or just Packard? The last Studebaker automobile rolled off the Hamilton, Ontario, Canada assembly line in 1966. Canada, once again, ending another dominant company. But I'm sure there's still some points in common. On the news, they say the reason we can't compete with Japan is because the Japanese never take breaks or holidays and work overtime even when they don't have to just out of a strong sense of loyalty to their employers. You finding that to be true? We know that you must be busy, but I hope to get a chance to travel around a little. I hope that you get a chance to travel around a little, see the country, and experience the culture too. It's part of your heritage after all. Love, Mom. I like how back then, I guess back then, and maybe even now, really, a lot of the things that we know about different cultures is seen through a lens of mysticism, because we don't live it, and so we can only learn what we know based off of translation, which we don't know if it's faulty or not because we don't know the source, right? But that must have been especially true back in 1986. And Japan was apparently popping back then. Like, the economy of Japan was way stronger than America at that time. I think because of something involving the way that they pegged their currency to metals or something. I don't know. Everything that I say on stream, I'm super unclear about. But all I know is that there was a golden period of Japan before the lost decade, where they all of a sudden lost everything and didn't have much money, if at all. Which is apparently still now. Sandwich. Now, bread. That's a whole other challenge. Is it really going to be that different from rice? They're both light-colored and fluffy-looking. What are you talking about? They're completely different. The texture, the way the light plays across the surface. The colors are quite distinct too. Take a look. Yes. When you put them side by side like that, I do see the difference. See? You can't assume you know what these foods look like from memory. You need to look and study them closely. You have the spirit of a true artist, Ishibashi-san. Place arms on tracks and use slide commands to quickly move them over long distances. Wait a minute. It's getting a bit complicated. So target, effect, slide, grab. Okay. Can I go as far as I want? How many things can I do on the slide? Like, how far can I go on the slide? If I do this, and then I slide, I can slide over. Can I move as much as I want? How far does it go? How do you extend the slide? Tools have things... Oh... Oops. Oh man, this opens up so many possibilities. But also, some of the solutions that I had were so simple that I didn't really use certain older tools too. So this is bread. You want me to cut the bread? You want me to just like chisel it open? Oh, sick. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll chisel it open. So you go all the way. I don't know if that's efficient, but I guess it doesn't really matter. One down, look up, and then grab on. It's gonna grab and it's gonna swing all the way. Oh shit, the bread is gone. Okay, maybe if I undo by 2 moves. Here. These are now out of sync. What do I do? If they're both out of sync, what does that matter? Can I not move the cutter? Is it possible for me to move the cutter? No. You can't move the cutter. The tool was pushed into another tool, so you can't move the tool. So these things just have to disconnect at some point. And that's fine, it just means that when I move them, I need another thing to move it up here, almost. I can do it with a simple pole, like I can do a single 1 pole over here. By doing A and then move -1 with a grab effect on, while also sliding it over by just... B, while also sliding it over by 1. So now they're both here. And then the piece of meat can slide in. And in fact, the piece of meat just has to be over here. I can just leave the meat there. And then you simply do... Well, I guess you need like a dual welder to go from the bottom and a rivet welder to weld from the top. Is that a good price? Yeah. A track is only 1 million, but also it's 1 million per segment probably. The arm itself is 8 million. The less arms you use, the better the price. Both styles of welders are the same price, but does movement add cost? If I add a command here, does that improve the price or does it make it worse? I don't know. Like if I copy this, put it here, and then I delete this. Commands don't add price. I guess you could optimize by just commands. Because then instead of doing another riveter, I could weld the bottom, and then I could flip the whole thing. Can I flip the whole thing? I don't know if I can. Yes, I... No, I can't... I don't know. Could I flip the whole thing? If I do a spin... If I move this over... If I do this instead, and I look up to weld. So it welds, and then I spin the whole thing. Sorry, that was stupid. What am I doing? Rivet from the top, and then I spin the whole thing. Well, you can't, because then it would collide with the thingamabob. You'd need to rivet from even further, which I don't know if you can. You can't. Okay, well... And even if you flip it, it would flip the whole thing over, and then you'd lose the piece of... Okay, well, my idea, it doesn't work. Or maybe it does. I don't know. Let's see. What do we do the... you know what? Let's go back to my old idea. Is there an undo button? Yeah. This works. This works. And then we go flip it over. Wait, not flip it over. We just go for a rivet. There we go. It's honestly really satisfying to look at, but I feel like I'm wasting something in some way. Wow, these plastic sandwiches look pretty good. By carefully experimenting with the formula for the plastics, we were able to come up with something suitable. It's not bad, but I would say there's still plenty of room for improvement. We aren't quite at the level we could be yet. Here's an idea. What if you molded the bread pieces so they're the right size to start with? Yeah, what if you did all the work beforehand, thereby negating the point of the factory? David didn't seem to think that was a problem. Did you, David? Oh, now you bring me in for my opinion, using me as a tool to garner a political, a corporate politic upper hand because the newer person has all the leeway to say things. This is something that I've learned. Or at least it's a stereotype in like various shows and books that deal with corporate politics stuff, is that there's always this idea of the new person having the most leeway to say something because they have the least amount of things to lose. But I think it's not true. I think you should always be able to say something. However, I'm saying that from my ivory tower of I say things and I can't get fired for it. So it doesn't really matter to me. But if you will get fired for it, don't do it, because it's better to make money to spend on your life and take care of yourself than not. You know what I mean? I made it work. See? Now let's go over the colors one more time. Okay, well, sorry, Oyama-san, sorry. Nigiri sushi. This is the one with just a piece of meat on the top, right? Sashimi, huh? That seems like a pretty tough challenge. We'll have to do our best to create the most alluring looking fish we can. Do I get to carve a fish? Even if we do, will people in other countries really like sashimi? Tomoe? If I could show you a glimpse of the future in 2025 as compared to 1986, your mind would be blown. It's actually kind of crazy to think about nowadays that you can get amazing tasting food everywhere, okay? And the variety of food is so vast now that you can find a large amount of foods at a high quality anywhere too. So you don't have to live in Vancouver to get sushi anymore. You can just go to any random Canadian city. You can go to Muskoka and get very good sushi all the same. You don't have to go super far anymore. It used to be that you had to be in these hotspots, these like metropolitan areas that were hustling and bustling. But now you can just have sushi at the comfort of your own door. You can even get like frozen sushi, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's not that hard to get this stuff now. And it's all at a decent quality. Like, food doesn't suck anymore. All food tastes at least reasonably good. You can go into most random restaurants and come up with a fairly good time. But some restaurants will give you food poisoning. Like, it's kind of crazy to think that the differentiated now for restaurants seems to be food poisoning and not really the flavor. Like, the flavor of most things seems fine. Although, my belief in that has been shaken once by a certain place that did make jjajangmyeon, which is like black bean noodles in like Korean black bean noodles, and I was like, it doesn't taste nearly as good as the ones that I've had. Even my instant ones tasted better. So maybe it's not perfect yet. David, do you think sushi will ever be popular in America? I'm speaking through David, yes. We do have sushi in America. Lots of people like it, including me. There was a place near us when I was growing up, and I used to get the California rolls all the time. Eh? California rolls? What's a California roll? Oh, it's... I'll explain later. It's a whole thing about cultural appropriation. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's not cultural appropriation. Orange chicken from Panda Express is not cultural appropriation. It is cultural adaptation. Americans just have a weird flavor palette. Okay, so we have tuna, mackerel, shrimp. What do you want me to do? How the hell do you do this? You want me to make a set of sushi? Okay. It's a little difficult. I don't really know what to expect. So, but why don't I start from the end? If we think about it from the end first, and we go from inside out, maybe we can do something like this, where we push... Every arm is expensive, but we can push this bad boy up, and then push it across, right? Maybe we do The infinite canvas really helps. It's surprising to me to think that besides this and obsidian, not many things make an infinite canvas. Oh, and also Excalibur. So you push it. Why am I pushing it here? What's the point of pushing it here? For this one, you start out by pushing it across. Right? I don't know. I don't know. Or how about we think about it in terms of polling? I have a track. Wait a minute, I have a track. You can do just like real sushi, conveyor belt sushi, right? Yeah. Think about it in terms of conveyor belt sushi. Yeah. Yeah. Think about it in terms of conveyor belt sushi. Okay, wait. So we do this, and then we have I don't know if this works. So so you grab, and then you pull, you move it across, new sushi spawns in. You then want to weld these together, like so, and then you move it across, and then what happens? Now you need to move this thing up. So how do you move this thing up though? You need another arm. Can this go far enough? I guess not really. Maybe the track was a bad thing for me to have, because now I'm thinking in terms of tracks, and I don't know if that's really worth it. Because there's a lot of moves that I have to do, whereas like I maybe it'd be easier if I don't think in terms of tracks. So sorry, not A, B push up 2. So B pushes, and then A moves. Oh, it has to pop 2. Sorry, this has to pop 2. A, pop 2. How do you pop twice? You can't pop twice? So you have to do B2, B minus 2. Boom, boom. And then you do it again. And then you do B. This is stupid. I don't think this is going to work. And then you do the track again. And then you gotta move this piece all the way up, which I don't know if you can. Fuck. Wait. You can. We just weld it from the bottom. And then what you do, when you do 3, you just do A1 down. This is stupid. This is dumb. This has to be. This is the worst thing I've seen. Oh, this is awful. Oh, this is terrible. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Because then it's gonna weld into the thing, and then it pulls the whole thing down. Shit. So, okay, wait. So, how's it work? So, boom, 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 boom. Why does it... Oh, because I had to grab off. So grab off, move the track, and I could do that at the same time. I can save some steps. I forgot that I can save some steps by moving things at the same time. So, and then while it's doing this, it does that. So we do this, do that. We can condense things down into repeats of sections. So it's gonna look even better. This is so complicated. This isn't even like a good idea, right? It's satisfying though. It's very satisfying. This is a very satisfying game to play. It lets you do your stupid ideas, and somehow the game is like, yeah, this is great. All right, let's try it again. This is an abomination. Sashimi is part of Japan's culinary culture, so I hope we create something worthy of it. They look great. If I was standing outside the restaurant and saw these, I'd probably go in and order them right away. I just hope everyone around the world feels the same way. By the way, David, what are California rolls? You didn't think I'd forget, did you? Well, it's imitation crab, avocado, cucumber, a little mayo. Avocado, how luxurious. I don't know about luxurious. It's more just a sushi roll made for Americans. Well, why is there... Isn't avocado really expensive? Why is it avocado? Nothing wrong with that, is there? Maybe I'll get to try a California roll one day. Yes. I'm not saying it's a bad flavor. It's a good flavor. But I never really realized how strange the choice of avocado was. I know that... I guess it's because it's in California that a lot of avocados are made. Or grown, right? But then it's like the flavor. I just wouldn't have ever... I can't ever imagine the flavor be working out good in my mind. But now that But because I know that it exists, I know that it tastes good. Because I know that it's there. It's a fascinating... I want to get into the mind of the first person who ever made that. Main menu. Craft and automation. A cutscene. Here we go.
If you don't mind my asking, Ishibashi-san, how did you get involved in making food samples?
I really do wish there was a way to set the cutscene volume. Because the music during the normal times could be a little bit much. Whereas the cutscene volumes, the voice volumes sound a little bit quiet compared to the music.
Because I was assigned here, obviously.
I can barely hear him.
Well, yes, but I mean, did you have any particular interest in food? Maybe you wanted to be a chef and this was as close as you could get?
No, it was nothing like that. I wouldn't say I had any particular interest in food above anything else.
Was it an interest in plastics then?
Plastics? Who would be interested in plastics?
I got a couple scientists that you'd be very surprised by. There's a couple scientists who are really into microplastics within ball sacks.
I don't know. I thought maybe you were.
I know the real reason Ishibashi-san was assigned here. It's because he's stubborn.
Stubborn? Who says I'm stubborn?
Yama-san.
Matsuzawa Kaicho, that's who.
Are you saying he sent me here as punishment?
What did you do?
Oh, no, that's not it at all. David, you've worked with Ishibashi-san for a while now. How would you describe him?
Hard-headed, not willing to relinquish on his ideas, not willing to say, look at the thing that he's doing and realize that he could make it easier if somebody else just did a bit more of it. Instead saying, I'm going to do this thing the way that I want to do it and you had to work around me. He's very dedicated. He's wonderful. Both very underhanded ways of saying the same thing. He's wonderful.
He's wonderful.
You can be honest, David. Ishibashi-san is many things, but one thing is that he's very driven to get things right. He won't be satisfied with anything but the best that he and his team can do. And that's why he was assigned here. Not because he loves food or loves plastic, but because this is a job that takes a lot of care and detail.
I see. When you put it that way, it makes total sense.
Well then, I'd better get back to work.
Buddy, it's
Nonsense. Let's have another round.
It's break time. You're allowed to have a break time. I was actually thinking in my head that this might go a different way. That maybe it's a conversation about what it means to find what you want to do. Because what Ishibashi-san was saying about how he has no particular interest in food and plastics, I feel like that's how most jobs are kind of for most people. Where you just do it because it's just sort of a thing that you fell into, not necessarily because it's what you want to do. But there's also nothing wrong with that. As long as you care about doing your best job, then really what else is there to it, right? And obviously as long as you get paid for it too. Like maybe you can derive satisfaction from something outside of work to make yourself happy. Like I'm not happy making websites, even though that's like the easiest thing to get paid for in software. But I do it still because it's just something that I fell into, and so it's very easy to keep on going. And I was thinking maybe it was going along those lines of a conversation, but I like the way that it went, actually. It shattered my expectations of where the conversation was going to go between these characters, and instead went towards a whole different type of conversation that was about identifying truly what are the values that you care about. So less about, just survive and do whatever you can, but more about pay closer attention to who you are and and what you like to do, and really think about what those strengths can apply to, as compared to just thinking about a title that you would hold or a role that you would have to try to fit yourself into. It's interesting in a way. Also, this artwork for this place is really good. They do a really great job of showing these different places and showing this different almost style of hanging out in a place. Because I feel like our bars over here, granted, I feel like I've only ever really been to dive bars, just look nasty and just don't look really appealing and don't really have the same vibe. Whereas like these bars, it feels like you would be expected to be more quiet and to have a nice closer conversation. But also, again, I've mostly been to like dive bars. Hamburger! An all-American classic in Japan. David, this is really your time to shine. Because he's American. That's right. Up until now, you've been a student. But today, we look up to you as the master. Oh boy. What are you guys talking about? We're talking about the hamburger, of course. As an American, surely you have lots of childhood memories of the perfect hamburger. The softness of the bun, the oily shine of the beef. Well, Ishibashi-san, you see, in America, capitalism has ruined fast food, and so the only hamburgers that we have aren't from places like McDonald's anymore, where it's A, cheap and also very tasty, but actually are from places like McDonald's, where it's not cheap and not tasty, and it's actually overpriced and absolutely terrible and devoid of all flavor and life and sustenance. We want to capture that feeling. I'm pretty sure any memories I have like that come from television commercials. Nothing wrong with that. Create your perfect television burger. I've seen a video going behind the scenes of how they make these food ad stuff. Things. A lot of the things that you see in food ads for various bits of food like this, completely fake, and it makes me so sad. Like the burger doesn't even look close to the same thing. Everything is just a fake just version of what it is. It's weird to know that that even like the mayo, they don't even use real mayo because it falls apart and it melts in the heat. They use like a cream that's like they'll use like body wash because it holds more stably and looks like mayo. It's weird. It's all lies, man. It's all lies. Anyways, we do this. We do the bun is at the top. What I'm thinking is we do a rivet through the bun, like, no, this is stupid. We do a double weld. I'm trying to figure out how to communicate what's in my head. We do this, okay, and we do a rivet at the same time. We have an arm right here that's designed to flip the whole thing around. I think like this. I don't actually know really how to flip it. So okay, too far. I think it's like this. Oops. Okay, well, I see my problem. I want to only do the meat into the bun. I don't know. And then do I weld? How do I then do a weld over here? I guess you can't specify when a weld happens. You just have to have a weld happen. But I was thinking of doing something like this, and then you would put the bun on one side and you flip the whole thing around, but I don't think that works. Because if you flip it around, there's always like one space off. So maybe you need another arm, but why don't I construct a hamburger? Why don't pre-place it? Surely there's a way to build a gap on it that will then make the hamburger constructible and possible to make into something, right? Maybe I can do something like this. What do I do? Because you have to flip it around to make the other bun fit on the other side. I'm trying to... Can you do this with one arm, basically, is what I'm trying to do. And I don't think you can. I think you have to suffer the fact that you have two arms. So you have one arm at the top here that will push it down after. You have one riveter at the top to put the bun into the thing. So you go boop. And then you do a pop on B to push it down. And then all of a sudden you can't... Oh no, pop on B, but on the opposite end. That way they'll push it back up and then you get the bun. Boom. That didn't complete the mission. Why? Oh, the burger is upside down. Okay, wait. So, go back. It's like this. There we go. That's a good burger. There has to be an easier way to do this. I'm going to go back and optimize this at some point. So, this restaurant chain is going to serve both burgers and sushi. Japanese hamburger steak is genius because it's just normal American hamburger steak, but for some reason the hamburger steak has fallen out of favor for the steak. I miss the hamburger steak. It's my favorite dish. And I don't know why we stepped away from the hamburger steak and why it's just steaks now. I feel like the hamburger steak could make a comeback. It would still taste really good. Well, it's not our place to question this company's strategy. In this case, we're just supporting them. I think it makes sense, since everyone has different preferences. Sometimes it's difficult to decide where to eat together as a group. Yes, exactly. Doing it this way, you can please both a sushi type and a burger type. Yes, it may feel discordant, but really it's about giving choice to the people. Yes, even though most people don't deserve a choice. Yeah, but what if you like both equally? Then it would be difficult to decide what to order. Is that really a problem? Maybe if they offered a burger sushi combo meal. Burger sushi combo meal. What? Isn't there a sushi burger? Sushi burger. Ew. Ew. I was thinking in my head that sushi pizza works, right? And then a hand roll and an onigiri is like 99% of the way to a sushi pizza, to a sushi burger. But no, it doesn't look nearly as appetizing. I'm gonna be honest with you. It doesn't look nearly as good. This is a sushi burger. It actually looks like the worst thing you could ever possibly think of when you think of a sushi burger. I was thinking more bread and less just rice. It's literally like if you hold this in your hands, it's gonna disintegrate. I feel like they missed the point. I feel like there could be something more here. I don't know. However, I'm not gonna judge. That's on them. That's their design. They can deal with that. I'm gonna make some katsu curry. Now this is a dish that brings me back. Curry has a strong emotional appeal, doesn't it? It's a classic for a reason. A katsu curry plate like this should be a hearty meal. Let's make sure the curry looks extra rich and tasty. And the katsu should look crispy and fried to a perfect golden brown, is what you were going to say, isn't it? That's correct. Maybe you should transfer and work with me. You'd make a great contribution there. Oh no, I could never. I could put in a word, you know. Please don't put in the word. I want to go back home to my wife and kids. Okay. Oh, this is the curry? This is not appetizing at all. This is not appetizing at all. That does not look appetizing one bit. The Japanese curry is really tasty and looks great. But the curry has to be on top of the rice, not like a popsicle, and more like a sauce, like a glaze. This is devastating, but also this is a bit complicated. So he's got to go over here. We're gonna do a track from ear to ear, right? Get the whole thing moving across. And actually, I do a track just like this, just to really save on cost there. I can go like this, this. We do the track like this. We move whatever the 5 is, go all the way across, and then on the A we push it up. Oh, sorry. So on the A we don't grab, we simply push 2. So now it's it. Then the katsu curry can be constructed by way of stacking it left and right. So we have a welder over here. There has to be an easier way to do this, right? There has to be. And then when it gets to the bottom, there'll be a welder. Oh, shoot. You can't do a welder there. How do you do this bottom weld? Oh, I know. Because you can't put the welder here. Because my idea is to push the meat down. But maybe you want to push the meat up and I could do it. Like maybe it's better to go from the bottom up. And then when it gets to the top, then we do it. But then you need another welder over here. This seems like a lot of welding. I don't know if this is good. So... no, I think we go from the top. Well, either way, you have to have an arm. I think. And then you just have to have another welder here. I think. So then you would do... So while that's happening, B1 is going to go 1 and then come back 1. Right? And then it's going to weld through. And then we just copy this sequence of events over and over and over. And then we do it again. Boom. That's actually really cool and satisfying that you get to move multiple things all at the same time. It's very fun. David, I realize I neglected to explain something to you. A lot of Japanese people have happy memories of their mother making curry. So it's a dish that has a cozy feeling. What kind of stuff did your mom make for you, David? Well, you see, my mother was never really around. Oh, nothing out of the ordinary. Spaghetti and meatballs, taco salad, a lot of baked casseroles. Did people actually used to eat baked casseroles? I've never had a baked casserole. Baked casserole? I've always thought to myself that a baked casserole looks amazing. Because what is a casserole? It looks like a lasagna almost. What is the ingredient of a casserole? But I've always thought it looked amazing to eat. Like, I would love to eat it. And spaghetti and meatballs is a classic. I love to eat spaghetti and the meatballs with the tomato sauce. No wonder you look so healthy. I would love to try making a whole line of plastic foods based on American home cooking one day. You'll have to show me all of these things. I'd be happy to, but I have to say I'm not sure how appetizing a plastic tuna noodle casserole would look in the restaurant window. Tuna noodle casserole? That sounds amazing. It would absolutely... This is insane. Oh, I don't know how appetizing this would look, buddy. I don't even know if you want... It's as if David doesn't believe that his food tasted good. Look at this. If I as a child had this, I'd be happy. I remember starving constantly. I wish I had something like this. That looks beautiful. David, you're spoiled for choice. You Americans, you don't know how tough it is for us Canadians out here. Had to live off of like beavers. Job well done. Here we go.
Thanks to the Tasty Plastic Task Force for all your help over the past few months.
Months?
I wouldn't have been able to concentrate on the plastic formulations if you hadn't handled the manufacturing part.
Months? I've been out here for months? Jesus. Let's destroy his confidence.
I had no idea what I was doing.
To be honest, I've never in my life seen a manufacturing process quite like the ones you designed for these.
That might be the worst thing that you could ever say to somebody, because that statement carries so much weight and implication. If you have confidence in yourself and you believe that you've done a good job, it means that you've done a great job. And you've basically innovated on the game of manufacturing. If you don't have any confidence in yourself, or you know that you've done a poor job, it means that he's so flabbergasted at how terrible the results are that he will never speak to you ever again.
I guess I would say they're very unique.
Is that good?
Let's not consider this too deeply.
Thank you, Oyama-san. Thank you.
By the way, I wish to apologize for keeping you here for so long. I do hope you were able to enjoy the area a little bit in your free time. Gifu Prefecture has all kinds of interesting history and culture. Many years ago, this area was famous for sword making.
Really? How come? By the way, how come we're not talking inside, where there's presumably air conditioning?
Thankfully, there's no need for swords today, but that spirit lives on. Now, some of the world's finest kitchen knives are made here.
This explains a lot. I know somebody who was like, they wanted to get knives from Japan, and they were really adamant about getting knives from a Gifu. And I didn't understand why, because I didn't bother to look it up. But now I know, and I'm trusting that the history of this game is accurate. Because otherwise, this all could just be me making up a lie in my mind.
And since you did such a good job cooking plastic food with me in our own kitchen, I thought you should have this.
Oh. Whoa!
Really?
I can't wait to use this back in the office.
Yes, really. This style of knife is called a santoku, and it was made just up the road from here in Seki City.
This is amazing. But I'm sad to say I'm not much of a chef.
Surely there's someone in your life who likes to cook.
I don't know how to explain this to you, but David is a loser.
Or there will be, sooner or later.
Thank you very much, Ishibashi-san. I learned a lot from you, and I'll treasure this forever.
Well, I have to say I'm looking forward to finally getting back to Tokyo.
Yeah, because they've been gone for 3 months. That's a very long work trip, actually. Or like eight months, right? That's a very long... I wouldn't be happy leaving where I used to be for 8 months just for work. That doesn't seem very appealing. I wouldn't mind a week-long trip to explore something. I'm sure it'd feel rushed, but 8 months is bordering on you've just moved there now, and now your whole life is gone.
Though I'll kind of miss the challenge of making inedible plastic look delicious.
Yeah.
It's strange work if you think about it. Plastic food creates hunger, but won't ever satisfy it.
That is the best philosophical statement I've heard in my entire life. Plastic food creates hunger but won't ever satisfy it. That's the kind of shit that David Suzuki would say to be against like pollution and global warming and the current manufacturing processes that are leading to it. Plastic food creates hunger but won't ever satisfy it. Okay, that's amazing.
It's the business of creating desire.
Wow, David, you are hitting the notes. I'm 13 and this is deep.
Someone's gotten philosophical all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's some good philosophy.
You must be tired. I know I am.
As if to say that philosophy can only ever appear in your life once you've exhausted all other means of living. Wait a minute. As if to say philosophy, whatever.
Let's try to relax while we can.
Sounds like a good idea.
I'm all in for some downtime. Maybe I can even take a day off.
In Japan, of all places? Get ready to be fired and laid off. Or apparently there's a way that they lay people off where instead of laying them off, they put them in a room with nothing to do to socially shame them. But I'm like, if you put me in a room with nothing to do, I'm just gonna make my own things to do, even if it seems stupid. Even if all you give me is a stapler and paper, no pencil, I would still figure out how to at least draw with it in some way. You can't ruin me. I already ruined myself. Spring 1987, 1 year later, a young manager. Personal electronics.
Well, here we are again.
Where? Is this the head office or?
So much for getting a day off.
Oh, this is like the day after. Wow. Just after we got back to Tokyo, we had another meeting with Terahata-san. He praised us for our work on the plastic food line, but quickly shifted gears to tell us about another factory he wanted us to assist. So, with hardly enough time to process our adventure in Gifu, we were off again, this time to the north.
I wonder what fun things there are to do in Niigata.
Why are we being thrown all over the place?
Skiing, I guess. I don't know anything about that.
I feel like his knees would shatter the moment he lands on anything.
That sounds fun. Let's ski.
Tomoe, you're young. You have the musculature necessary to survive. Okay, to survive a fall from any height, to be able to ski on the mountains. Oyama-san doesn't have that.
I don't even know if it's the right season. Anyway, if our experience in Gifu is any indication, we won't have time for things like that.
You're probably right. I wonder if there's anything else to do around here.
I'm sure you'll find something.
Wow, this is a proper office. But also, even back then, open offices had already corrupted offices around the world. I get that you're doing it to save money and, it's for this idea of collaboration. I don't want to collaborate. I don't want to talk to anyone. Give me a cubicle. Just let me put some drawers and cabinets up so I can hide away from you. Also, I've always had these desks, always, everywhere that I worked, that had these many cabinets, and I never understood why. Because my cabinets were full of nothing. Like, literally nothing. I just put my backpack in there. There's too much storage space for how little you have. However, I will say software is a very different line of work. I guess this line of work, where you have much more paperwork to deal with, probably would require more real estate for you to be able to store notes and records and documents and stuff. And also, look at the art here. Look at how detailed it is. I like how there's a person smoking, because back then we used to allow indoor smoking because society was insane for some reason. And I also really enjoy the fact that the old person sits really close to their monitor as compared to everyone else who at least has a little bit more distance with their glasses. I didn't read that, sorry. I even wonder if he was the son of an executive or something like that. But it turned out he was just smart and worked hard and had big ideas, so the company had made a bet on him.
Hey, so this is the famous David Sugimoto, huh?
Damn, you sound cool, Yosuke.
Nice to meet you, Morita-san.
Aw, come on. Call me Yosuke. Isn't that more natural for you?
What? Oh, because is it because I'm American or is it because I'm Japanese? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I guess so. Nice to meet you, Yosuke. But shouldn't I be the one adapting to your customs? Yeah, like I'm the guest in your country, no?
But shouldn't I be the one adapting to your customs?
And presumably, if David is doing this and he's gonna live here to work in this place, shouldn't he be the one always adapting? Because he's gonna have to be the one to learn how to live in this place. And if you don't adapt to the customs, then you're not really living in this place. You're just being the asshole tourist who comes in and exerts your influence on the place.
What good are customs? Call me however you like.
I like the young person's vibe.
I got the story from the boss. Sounds like you really helped out with that plastic food line.
Thanks. I guess this is my job now.
The stuff we're going to make here is a little different, though.
Really? What challenges await?
They're devices. Things people interact with every day.
Oh shit. What does that mean?
It's not enough just for them to look good. They have to be functional.
Uh-oh. Oh, what does that mean?
Sounds like that does change the design considerations.
Yeah, but does it change how I have to make things? I don't have to program anything. I don't have to program anything, right?
Why don't we get started and you can see for yourself?
What was that first line that I was supposed to read that I missed? Sorry, I completely missed that line because I was too busy gushing over The Office.
So much.
When I first met Yosuke, I thought he looked way too young to be in charge of a division, especially at a Japanese company. Ah, David is ageist. Let's go to make a compact camera. Take this camera for starters. What are the important features to consider when designing something like this? It should be easy to use, of course. Definitely. Leave the complicated cameras to the professionals. It should be light, too, so it's easy to carry around. Definitely. If it's light, I can take it on any trip and photograph anything that happens to catch my eye. What about you, David? It should take good photos? Excellent point. Nobody wants blurry or washed out photos of their precious memories. Okay, I'm David. In every meeting, I point out the obvious. Let's keep these 3 priorities in mind as we create this camera. Drills are like arms, but with cutters on the end instead of grabbers. I'm sorry. What? So we build this entire plastic housing and then we drill through it? I feel like in real life, you just make it to the specifications instead of ruining the material, because I don't even think you could do this in real life. But I do like how they gamified it to make it easier. Okay, so how the hell do I make this? Nice shot, autofocus. Let me compose what I think it's going to look like. And figure out what it wants me to do. Why is this so massive? This is the flash on this side. This is the viewfinder over here. This has to go into this by 1 space. I get it. This has to go into this by 1 space. Okay, so the drill is quite expensive. Quite expensive. I actually think it's cheaper to go like this. Also, I really like the vibe of the song. The song vibe reminds me a bit of... I forget the name of the genre. Okay, if I do this... So my thinking is maybe we do this. We go 1, so we go 2 down. We shave off this entire section instead of just making it, I don't know, good. We shave it off. And we put a riveter here. That way it goes down as well. And then we bring it back by 2. We do -2. Bring it down. Then from here, we push it over. Then we flip the whole thing around. So we... Yeah, so we do 1 over here, then we do even better. Let go. This should be like this. Okay, then it's like boom, 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 and then it should let go and go back by 1 without grab. So it goes back. And then it's on a track. Okay, then now we're overcomplicating things. But it's fine. Then we move it over. Am I a fool? I am a fool. It has to be over here. So we go like this. And actually it can be down here then. So it can be down here. Like this. And then it can move over. So, Oops. Okay, so bring it back by what? Okay, so this. Don't do this. Bring it over, weld that, and then bring it back to weld it the other way. Excuse me? Oh, sorry. Well, yeah, no. It's like this. Oh, but it hasn't welded through to the other piece. Like it hasn't gone through to the edge of the. We do 2 riveters, right? Is that stupid? I don't know. So wait, boom, 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 and you bring it back. Well, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do now? Well, I guess 1 riveter and then a welder. No, it has to be a riveter, and a welder if I'm gonna do it like this. No. Or we do like this, and then can it pull back? It can. Wait, you can do that? You can pull pieces around using the other pieces as a shell? I didn't know you could do that. If I knew, I would have done that sooner. Okay, let's just see it play. Pretty good. I don't know how efficient this is, but it looks very pretty. It's very compact. Now I want us to consider what happens to this camera in the future. It gets old and falls apart. I mean, what happens to the product design? It gets even smaller and lighter and better quality, right? I suppose it's okay to assume that, yes. So what does that mean, David? Any ideas? A camera you take everywhere without even thinking about it? Yes, exactly. A glasses camera. Yosuke, I don't know how to explain this to you. Google tried that, and there was a bit of a controversy. A what? A glasses cam. A camera so small and light that it's integrated into your glasses. You can take a picture of anything. We're not quite there yet, but that is surely the future of photography. Yosuke, I don't know how to explain this to you. The future of photography is deepfakes with AI. So he's thinking like this. Keep it up. Already a cutscene. Hey, champ. Hey, champ. We were amused to see your mother's wish for you to see the country came true just after she sent her letter. Being shipped out to the countryside to help design a factory there must mean they like the work you've done so far. Keep it up and your reputation will grow, and soon after that they'll be asking you for you by name. That's actually, I don't even know if that's true. I feel like this company doesn't think like that, but let's see how this goes. Maybe they do recognize me, but I don't think they will. Eventually you can get back to the business department where you want to be, but that can come in time. If you're enjoying what you do and you're learning something, you might as well keep doing it. And it's good to get that experience while when you're young. Many years from now, you'll look back on these days and you'll see how it all fits together. How it all fits together. Even if you think it didn't at the time. Your mother's telling me you've heard me saying this 1,000 times already, so I guess I'll stop for now. All the best, Dad. P.S. Thank you for the plastic sushi and other foods. We really got a kick out of them. Your mother put them on a dolly on top of the piano. Sorry, a doily? That's a doily? That's a new word for the Scrabble games. On top of the piano. Next to the coasters from Cancun. I'm starting to feel very international in here. Thanks, Dad. Your car, our problem. Thanks, Dad. Pocket calculator. What about the pocket calculator? What are the important features there? You want the number display to be nice and easy to read. Certainly. And you want the buttons to be clear and easy to press. That's right. And you want it to look cool. Oyama-san. Wait, really? Absolutely. Why carry a calculator at all if it isn't going to be the sleek, futuristic tool of a modern business warrior? Ooh, that's a new title that I'm gonna. Oh god, that's like fractional CXO or something. I'm gonna see modern business warrior start to flood forums. Like, oh yes, I'm the modern business warrior. I have a calculator in my pocket, or a Rolex, and then the suspenders thing. I don't know. I'm not ready for that. I think the time of calculators being cool has passed. Was there ever such a time? Oh, you young folks, Oyama-san. If only you knew. Dear God. 6 buttons. 3 buttons. This is a little much. I don't even know where to begin. I guess what I could do is push them sideways and only weld at the end over here with such a welder. And I push these two sideways such that they both go up and down, and I have a track that can actually help me facilitate the rest of the movements that I need as well. So what I'm thinking, something like this. So you do this. So I don't think you need to weld these two together. You just need this. I think what you do is you go like this. Oops. Well, not really yet. Not yet, but that is kind of the goal of what I want to do eventually. And you do this. So you do A1. You simply push it by 2 or 3. 2. And then you pull it back by 2. Without the grab. Sorry. This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work, I don't think. Because then what's gonna happen? What am I thinking here? It's gonna go over here. It's gonna come back, and then I push another one, so it goes, and then it's over here. Then how am I gonna weld them together? Because I'm missing a piece to weld it. I guess I do need a riveter down here to weld these together. But isn't that a waste? Because then you have a riveter down here to weld this to the piece on top, which will then get pushed out, and then it welds this over here, welds over here. But then how do you do it for all of them? I don't get it. What was I even thinking? So you have this. Okay, forget that for now. Maybe we think of it as a pulling back action. So we start out like this, and then we pull it back like this. So we pull it back, and then what do? We pull it back, and then there's a riveter here. So then it rivets these two, and then you pull it back, but then you can't pull back this one over here. Like it wouldn't. Okay, no, that's stupid. No, so you start here, you rivet these two, you then pull the whole unit back together, you then rivet those two again, you pull the whole unit back together, you then rivet those two together. And then when you get to here, you weld it to the top. Then you push it upwards, which would then cause the whole thing to fall apart, because then it'd be lost. And you'd have to... Okay, let's just try it. I was thinking of something with the track to make it up and down, so this wouldn't work actually over here. So, okay, maybe not, maybe don't. Okay, let's just try this way first. So push it out. Come back. Push it out. Well, that's a problem. Come back. Then you come back. So now you have all three. Cool. What does that do for me? Wait. You have all three. I have an idea. We put the welder here. Because then you move the track without the grab by 1. Then you copy the same sequence of events. The exact same. Then you weld. Boom. 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 And then you would think, oh no, we're stuck now. But that's not the case. Because then what you could do, we're stuck now, is you could go like this, and then you would grab it, and then you'd go back down to weld those pieces together, and then now you need to weld these pieces together. So I guess we'd have 2 riveters over here? I don't really know. Something has to get these on somehow. So then we have it like this. So then we rivet like this. That's cool, except now it's not really attached to itself. Like it doesn't fit. This is a lot of moving pieces. I don't know if this was a good idea. So then we okay, so then we go like this. Oops, we gotta grab it. I would even say we move 2. That way that piece comes in. And then this is awful. This is terrible. This is the worst design I've made yet. But you know what? That's okay. Son of a gun. Don't grab. By 3. And then you repeat this sequence of events again. Okay? This is really bad. This is really, really bad. I don't know about this one. I really don't know about this one. So then you weld the boom, boom, boom. Then you need to... you gotta move up without grabbing it. Then you grab it and you move it down by 2. Then you move it down by 2. And then you go back up with the grab by 2. Wait, that's the product? I'm done? I'm a genius. I don't know if this is good. This looks really complicated for no reason. This looks really complicated. Let's see it play out from the side, okay? I'm so glad there's no time score. If there was a time score, then this would be awful. I'm sure you can make this in a simpler way, but I just can't think of how. Design approved. By who? The modern office worker surveys the landscape in front of him. Bam! He has an idea, but it requires some quick calculations. He grabs a calculator from his pocket, a sleek, high-performance number-crunching machine. With just a few operations, he has some idea of the figures involved. What a cool salaryman. No one does this. Would you really do it like that? I hate to say this, but I'm not sure a salaryman can be cool. What? Why not? I could at least be the exception, couldn't I? Yama-san. Maybe we should move on. Yeah, sorry, or Yama-san. You don't get to be cool here. What is Apache Soul Classic? Why does the icon look different? It looks very different. Hey! An upbeat matching tune was playing for the speakers as an announcer kept up a constant patter, trying to draw people inside. Is that me and Tomori? And every time the doors open, I could hear the loud noise of metal balls falling through dozens of machines and clacking onto trays. This is Konami's top moneymaker, pachinko. That wasn't disorienting enough. Seeing Tomoe in her non-work clothes made it seem like a totally different person. Yeah, she looks way more cool and casual and like hip and awesome. Why are we gonna date Tomoe?
All right, let's make some money.
What?
Money? Is this gambling?
We're gonna make money?
It's not. I mean, not really.
Mm.
You don't make money officially, but you can make money if you catch my drift.
So I only recently learned about this too by looking into the Konami thing. So pachinko, gambling is not. Well, I don't know if gambling is illegal, but for some reason you can't make money playing pachinko like you would playing slots. So what you do is there's 2 different buildings apparently that are owned by the same thing. You win tokens and you go to that different building to exchange the tokens for money. You play the pachinko, you win the tokens, you exchange the tokens for real money, and that's apparently a loophole that allows you to make money from a game that you wouldn't be allowed to make money from.
Is this all on the up and up here?
Not really.
Of course, it's all perfectly legal.
I don't know if she's being honest with
The way you're saying that
with me.
isn't exactly reassuring me.
Yeah, I don't feel too good about this, don't worry.
Listen, are you ready or not?
That's what somebody says when they want you to join in on their drug dealing scheme, is when they say, listen, forget your concerns, I'm going to ignore all of them, just listen to what I have to say, because she only cares about what she has to say. She's not here to have a conversation about this, okay? She's here to make money. Are you ready or not? Okay? I don't care about what you have to say. Are you ready or not? And I'm as ready as I'll ever be, because if I'm gonna die, I might as well make some money.
As ready as I'll ever be.
That's the spirit.
Okay, then she's like, all right, then I'll talk to you, because now you're in. You're not going home to your family. You're not going home safe. You're here to make money.
Now let's get in there and win.
What the fuck am I looking at? I need a tutorial. The goal of Pachinko Solitaire? Wait, that's actually sick. Pachinko Solitaire is to clear all the cards. This is a mini game. You start the game with 12 balls. This is the best game ever. You have a story that's about corporate life and trying to find your place in the world, being somebody who's new and fresh in the workplace. Then you have this like beautiful, almost puzzle game that's feels Zachtronics like, but isn't so bogged down in details. It's focused on much more simpler moving pieces that ultimately make it more, I think, fun and approachable, as you can tell by my terrible sequences of events. And then you have mini games that are completely different games that keep you from losing dopamine. This is a 10 out of 10 game. You start the game with 12 balls and lose when you run out. Okay. But balls and cards each have a value between 1 and 8. You can clear a card when the value is exactly 1 above or below. Oh, sorry. Okay, the balls and cards have a value, okay, and only 1 above or below. When you clear a card, it will unlock the cards below. This will also change the ball value to the value from the cleared card. So if you go, I see. That's why it's Pachinko Solitaire. It's Solitaire, but in the reverse, you get the value instead of you building a set or like a sequence of cards in order to clear all the previous values in a sequence. You get the specific value. Okay. I think I get it. Because of gravity, oh god, the ball can only move to lower areas of the playfield. When you get stuck, use the launcher to launch a new ball. Clearing a red card removes the ball from the playfield but grants you an additional ball. I need to go. I feel like I need to go to the washroom because my bladder is taking up all my brain cells. That way, I have brain cells to solve this because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I opened my door, and in front of my door was a container of roast duck and a baguette to eat with them. I don't know how, but I think my family knew that I was hungry, so they just left the roast duck there. But the roast duck, like there was no knocking. No one knocked. They just left it in front of my door. I think they probably did it while I was ranting. And they probably heard how inflamed I sounded so they were like, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna leave the roast duck here for him to find it later. So now I've got roast duck. And you know what? The best surprise I could have ever had. It'd be scarier if I lived alone though. Like that could be a good horror bit where you live alone and all of a sudden there's a package of roast duck that you ordered in front of your door, but not your front door to your home, but the room door, so they got inside somehow. It could be a horror story about the best delivery person that you never want to meet. How do you shoot the ball? So we shoot the ball and I decide where it goes. Okay, I was gonna say I feel like the game might be hard if I have to play it like pinball, but it's literally just a logic game of where I want to go. So I would want to do 2, 3, because I was at 4. We go 4, 5. I can only go downwards, so I can't go up and down or something. I can only go down from where I am, so I can't go sideways nor back up. So now I have 5. I can do 5. Well, now I'm boned. Wait, okay, well that one worked. Oops. Okay, I definitely messed up somewhere. Okay, I kind of messed up. Is there a way for me to restart this? Can I restart this or new ball? 7 becomes 6, which can become 7. But if I become 7, where do I go? I could go to 7 here, but I can't do 6 over there. Maybe I should have gone 7. Okay, can I do a new game? Wait, it randomizes the numbers? I thought it was like a challenge puzzle game. Oh shoot. 4. So 5, I could do 4, 3 here, and then can I do 4, 3, 2? Like, can I go like this? I can. And then, but I can't go sideways, so now I'm boned. Okay, I get how the game works now. Sorry. Okay. This is the real run. 1, I can do 2. That's it. Sorry, this is like playing Slay the Spire, and you see them reset the game over and over to get a really good seed. 3, 4, I can go 4. I can't go sideways, so that'd be gone. And then where would I go with the 4? I can go down to 5, 4, 3. Or I could even go into 3, 4, then nothing. I could go 3, 4, 5. I think we go left here. So we go 3. If I do 2 though, where can I go with 2? If I do 2, I can still go 3 on the side over there. But if I go 4, I can go 4, 5, 4, 3. 4, 5, 4, 3. I could 3. I could go 2, 3, 4. I go 3, 2, 3, 4. I need to end on a. I have to be on a 5 or a 4 after. I have to be on a 5 or a 3 after to get to here. So I think we just clear this left side. So we do 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 5. And that's all I can do. But at least I open up both 7s. Okay, now I have a 1. What can I do with a 1? It's useless. Fuck. I do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I think we do the 2. Well, either way, this is a bad spot to be in. Either way, it's terrible. Now we have a 5, and now I'm really boned. We can do 5. I can't go sideways after. But I can go 6, 7. I can go 5, 6 here to clear the 7, which will consume the ball but give me a ball. Or I can go 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. Drop. I think that's worth it compared to clearing the ball for a red thing. 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. Now I have way more open space. 8. I can easily sink this now for a freebie because there's nothing I can do with it anyway. So I get a freebie. That's why you do. That's why you save. You save the reds when you need options, but if you have options, you don't waste it. I would then do 3. I could do 3, 2. That allows me to sink it for free. Okay, now I do 4, 5. Fuck. 4, 5, 6, 5. I was hoping to go with a 7, but there's no way. I can't go sideways, right? Okay, so this is gone. 3 can go into 2 here. And 5 and 6 is pretty nice. Because I can go 3... I think we just do the 3, 2 here. Clear this, and I'm good. Oh, okay, now we have 6. I guess we just put it in the hole. 7 can be 8. 7, 6, there's no 5. Wait, 7? Yeah, it should be 8, 7 to go into this. There we go. 3 can be... Fuck. I think we clear this 4 over this 2, because the 2, 3, I can go 1, 2, and then get a free one after, which is safer, I think, overall. So now I have a 6. You really hate me, don't you, eh? I got a 2, I go... See, this is why you do the 1, the 2, and then, it's a fairly good play. Now I have some options. The 1 is wasted, but that's fine. That's why I have a 2 over there to get me an extra ball. 7 can go 6, 7, 8. Now I need to hope for the right numbers. This is bad because I don't know if I'm going to get the right numbers. 4. Wow. Good. Win a game of Pachinko Solitaire Classic Variant. Win count 1. New game. I can keep going? Wait, this is... I mean, I'm going to end the game after this mini game anyways because we need to move on to the rest of the games for today, which is just Peak, or Peaks of Yore, but... This is a really fun puzzle game. I feel like they should have maybe led with this in some way. It's really good. It's really good. I do 4, 5, 6. I can do 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Yeah, okay. 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. Yeah, that's good. I have a 5. I can do a 6. And that's it. Okay, well, that was it. Okay, so 3. God, this is... Why is this minigame so addicting? What is this? Why is it so good? I can do 3, 2, 4. Well, wait, let's clear these top ones while I can. I can do 2, 3. I can do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I can do 2, 3, 2 to sink into this one, or 3, 4 to sink into that one. I can also do 3 in the right side, but I think I saved the 3 in the right side because I don't really need to yet, because this one's already almost empty. You can also do 1, but then 1 doesn't lead anywhere. I can also do 1 down here to clear it open now. And I would just do 1, 1. Okay, so that's safe. That's good. 4, 3. I feel like I need to go higher to really make the most of this, but it's too late for me. I have too many numbers that are slanted towards one side. So 3, 4. Why do they make this so addictive? 8, 7 clears this. 8, 7. There's. I wish I could get the 6, but it's fine. 5 is just gonna go inside this hole. 7 is gonna go here to get 8, which then becomes unusable. Okay. Wish I cleared that earlier, but that's okay. So now I can go 6, 5, but that'd be bad. Because I would need... It's better for me to start on like a 4. Because then I can go 4, 3. Or like a 6. I don't know this. Yeah, I can do a 4, 3 over here to clear that. And clear this and then go over there. Or 4, 3 and then go into there. So this is actually not good. Because 6, 5 can't go anywhere afterwards. It's better to just sink this hole now. 2 is really good because I can do 2. I can't go into that. I'm trolling. Okay, cool. 5 is once again a bit of a bad one. Okay, I'm not gonna win this, am I? 4, 5. I feel like going higher is maybe better. Maybe 3 could have let me sink that, but that's okay. I can save it. I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. Okay, 1 could be the worst number. I have no good sequence for this thing over here. This is bad. We actually might lose. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I thought it was gonna guarantee me a win, but I'm a fool. New game. Okay, one last one. This is a really fun game. The mechanics are so simple yet so addictive. It's literally just it's like those games that you see on mobile phone ads of like 99% of people won't solve this, and it's just pouring the liquid from one hole into the next hole. 7, 6, 5. I think we open up with more. So 6, 7, 8 is a nice easy go for 6, 7, 8, and then I think that's it. 4 can go into 5, which then dies. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's really good. Okay. 5 can go into 4, which can go into 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. I should have gone 1, 2, 1, 2. Whatever. 2 is a good saving 2. I can go into 1, 2, into nothing. 7, 8. That's it. 6, I can go into 5. What does that do for me though? 4, 5. I mean, I can go into 6, 5. So, I mean, 6, 5, it's basically the same thing, but I get more out of it, I guess. 5, 4, 5, and that's it. Oh, maybe I should have done 6, 5, 4, 3. Doesn't matter. It's still good. It's fine. It's okay. 7, 6. 3. If I go 4, I can go into 5. So I'll do 4 into 5. The 4 goes into 3. That's good. It's really good. And then the 2 can go into the 1, which I think it has to. There's no other choice. I should have cleared this sooner. I'm now in a bit of a bad spot to begin. Okay, that's really bad. 4, 5, 6, 7. And now it's 6. Okay, that's awful. Oh god, this is hard. 7 goes into 6. Okay, 3, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 4. Fuck me. 5, 4. Oh, I'm trolling. I should have done 5, 6. Okay. 6, 7 to get the lower one out the way, because then we can go like this. And when you get down to the last 3, it doesn't soft lock you. What's the point of me doing this? How do I leave? Am I done the game? How do you finish the game? How many times do you have to win? Wait, does she expect me to play this game until we make a lot of money? Is she using me to make her money? If so, when do I get to go home to see my family? I can go 1, 2. 1, 2. If I end on a 3, I can go over here to clear that. But I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a 7 over here though. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Should I do 6 or should I do 4? I think I should do... No, I should do 6 so I have a way to exit afterwards. Okay, so I have a way to exit. 5. I can go 6, 5, 4, 5, 6. 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6. And then we drop it. 4 can go 3. Or 3, 4. Let me go. I think we do this to open up the slots, so we have the red slots now to play with. So 8 can go 7, 6. 7, 6. I can then go 7, 8, and I wish I could have gone inside there, but that's fine. Because now I have a safety. I have a level of safety that I can play with where I can throw it into any of these holes now for safety. But however, I did... I have too many 1s and 2s now. So 2 can become 1. Which then go into... I was the 2, 1, 2. But then I need a 1 to end off on to do this. So I can do 2, 1, 2, 3. Or maybe 2, 3. But then 2, 3, 2, 3. Why don't we do 2, 1. Oh, am I an idiot? Well, whatever. 6. I feel like there's a way that you can think about this that'd be more efficient. I feel like this is not just a mini game. This is training you as a player to be able to think about the numbers in a way that makes sense for maximizing your opportunity. And thus, maybe carry that forward to the rest of the game. 6, 7. Okay, that's good. 3. Son of a gun. I was right there. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. 2, 1, 2, 3. Because you can think of the sequence of events from your next moves, which would be good. Okay, so there we go. 6, 7, 4, 3, 2, 8. You wound me. You wound me. You wound me. Tomoe, can I get off the machine now? Tomoe? Tomoe, must I play your sick game? Must I play your sick and twisted game? How do you leave? Tomoe, when am I allowed to leave? Tomoe, please. Tomoe, please. I want to go back to my family, please. I don't want to make you any more money, please. I'm sorry. 7, bada boo, bada boom, bada boom. Good stuff. I could have gone even further, but I wanted to get that out of the way now. 3, 2. 3, 2. Boom. Done. Okay, so now we do 8, 7, 6, 5. 7, 6, 5, 6, 5. I'm dead. Oh, okay. 7, 8. Or 7, 8. No, we'll do 7, 8 up here because it's hard to go down afterwards. Okay, so dead. 6. Fuck. 5. Tomoe. Please let me go, Tomoe. I don't want to play I don't want to play Pachinko anymore. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to go home. I don't know what I did to make you angry, but please let me go home. 4, 5, 6. Tomoe, please, just let me go home to my family, please. I'm begging you. 2, 1. Okay, good. 1. 1 what? 1 nothing. 3. You wound me. 4. You wound me. 7. 8. You wound me. 2. 3, 2, you wound me. 6, 7, you wound me. 5, 4, 7, 6, 2, 1. Tomoe, how do I leave? Gambling? No, I'm being forced at will. The game doesn't end. How do you get the game to end? If I click back, it's just the menu. And oh. I thought it was, okay, I thought you had to reach some score of winning to leave and Tomoe was using me to make money. But no, you're actually allowed to leave by pressing the close pachinko button. Oh. I thought I was being held against my own will to finish this weird gambling session. To make as much money as I could for Tomoe. But no, now I'm free. But hey, you know what? This is a great game. I like being held against my will to make a bit of money playing that. Because this game has a surprising amount of variety of different situations that you go into for the core gameplay mechanic, which is it seems like the schematic building thing, and then it has the mini games to keep you from getting bored of the main flow, in order to keep on, I guess, going through the main story without eventually turning the game off like I'm about to. But I think if you play it in single player, it's much easier for you to keep on going. But I want to keep on moving to a piece of war. Very, very good game. I like it. I like the way that story is told too. It's not too heavy. It's not too lighthearted either. It feels like the right level of serious and also comedic for you to enjoy, almost like a slice of life type of thing, but not so simple that you can turn your brain off. Like there's some things about it, and the voice actors really do a great job too of really putting forward these feelings and these ideas and these implications based on how they say things that make things feel that much heavier under the surface, which I really enjoy. But it's not so deep that you have to spend hours obsessing over it and poring over every single detail. You can just enjoy it for what it is and still walk away with at least a level of understanding that satisfies you. Which is just like the gameplay, which is just deep enough that it gives you enough satisfaction while still feeling complex enough that you are actually thinking about it. These but thinking about these puzzles in a way that feels like what the core programming kind of is, and also in the way that like the core Zachtronics experience kind of was, but without being bogged down with details. Like there's very little details that you have to learn to succeed. The details are simplistic enough that you can worry about the larger picture, which ends up being much more fun while still having a lot of the puzzle elements there. And you have the beautiful art as well, like this beautiful scene over here. And I like how there's a little grill on top of the rooftop where your 4 interns and the 2 seniors can hang out. Like, this is a massive piece of a game. I really enjoy what this game is doing. And I'm excited that it's matched every single expectation that I had from the demo. But my designs are awful.